This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
United States calling. Are we reaching? So you can hang it up.
Seesaw swinging with the boys in the office, kicking back in the office chair, saying, hey, diddle, diddle, I couldn't give a fiddle if my boss yells at me over there. So we take a big chance and take a little glance to see if boss ran away. We don't feel we'll survive if we stay until 5, so we need to make a quick escape. We're ready to Walk Friday, Talk Friday, Leave Early Friday, Go Walk Friday. Just give me a beer.
From the KLAQ studios in beautiful sunny El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, baby!
The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
Man, is this gonna rock or what?
All right, thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the show for this Friday morning. The weekend is upon us, everybody. And I'll get to the weekend golfers forecast. Brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. We got a lot to talk about today. We got guests coming in. We got comedians that are going to be here. We've got tickets to give away. I found out when the last Chihuahua's home game is, Joanna.
Oh, when?
Sunday.
Oh.
Sunday is also 915 Day. That's hey. I'm on board with that. I don't know how many years they've been trying to make 915 like a big holiday or cause for celebration in El Paso, but I'm all for it. Yeah. It's a good time of the year to have a party or a celebration. I also think that we should get 915 Day off every time it falls on a weekday. So, we got a lot of sports coming up this weekend on KLAQ. So we are doing our last UTEP minor game with the baseball season ending. Minor games after this weekend are going to be heard on our partner station, 600 ESPN El Paso. This week, UTEP Miners on the road and taking on Liberty. Liberty is a conference opponent who went undefeated last year. And there were a lot of people that thought Liberty should have had a chance to compete for the national championship since they did everything you could ask. They won their conference. They won every game of the season. They almost lost to NMSU last week, though. For the Miners versus Liberty, that game is going to be heard here on KLAQ, starting with the Miner pregame show at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then starting next Saturday, UTEP football returns to 600 ESPN. Dallas Cowboys. This Sunday, the Cowboys have an early game, and it's their first home game of the season. Dallas Cowboys. Is that your favorite one?
Yeah.
Would you say?
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, I keep it fairly handy anyway. There we go. Dallas Cowboys. We are the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy football. So it's Cowboys hosting the Saints. Our broadcast starts with the Cowboys pregame show at 10 a.m. Dallas Cowboys football on the Q, brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, 915 Tours, and Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday Night Football watch parties hosted by Steve Kaplowitz from 600 ESPN. Good morning, Nico and Jimmy.
Good morning, Buzz. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning.
Let's get a look at weekend weather. This is the golfers forecast. It's brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Sunny today, 97 for the high temperature. It's not going to be too hot. It's not going to be cool by any stretch of the imagination. But we're going to see right about that every day of the weekend. 97 today, 97 tomorrow. We'll say the same on Sunday, and clear from rain. Mostly sunny, in fact, all weekend long. Maybe a few clouds here or there, but those are not going to bring any rain chances this weekend. And then next week, it looks like highs are going to be in the low 90s. for most of the week, so I can deal with that. This is the Golfer's Forecast. It's brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. It's simple and it's easy, painteddunes.com, or you can call the Pro Shop, which is also pretty simple and easy, too, if I'm being honest. The Pro Shop number at Painted Dunes is 915-821-2122 for Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Joanna is going to have the Hollywood Cheesemay coming up a little bit later. Joanna, you want to give us a brief sneak peek at what's coming up in the Cheesemay?
All right. Well, Dave Grohl is calling out fake news and is slamming a viral Instagram photo that claims to be his love child. It says it's not real.
All right.
The nice guy has fallen.
Isn't that crazy?
I need to go over, there's an article I'm told I need to read. Joanna wrote it about an El Paso resident who, R.I.P., passed away. I guess this was a beloved El Paso resident that I wasn't familiar with. Bob the Goat.
Bob the Mountain Goat, yes.
Tell me about Bob the Mountain Goat.
Well, he called the Franklin Mountains his home. You could always see him alongside a Trans Mountain, which is where everybody would be like, oh, I saw Bob the Mountain Goat today.
Would they just throw him some trash to eat?
No, but apparently he died in a relocation effort gone wrong.
So parks workers, Parks and Rec, well, who
the El Paso, not the El Paso, the Texas Wildlife Parks Department
wanted to relocate Bob the Mountain Goat.
Right. He was going to be relocated to a farm because the state agency is about to release a bunch of desert bighorn sheep, and they wanted to minimize the risk of disease spreading. So they thought, let's move Bob the Mountain Goat to the farm so that these desert bighorn
This dirty
sheep
old goat's going to get dirty with them.
Won't transfer any diseases to him, and in the process
killed the mountain goat.
Bob the Mountain Goat.
I get a couple of questions, and I haven't run these by you, so I don't know if you know the answer. Are there other mountain goats up there?
No.
He's the lone mountain goat?
The wildlife experts said that he was probably a domesticated goat. He probably lived on a farm and escaped, and that's how he ended up living in the Franklin Mountains.
Why are they releasing sheep?
Why?
Good question. I know
Get out.
somewhere in the article I read why they're releasing all the sheep.
Oh, the bighorn sheep.
The bighorn sheep, yeah. I can't remember the reason why.
And maybe we could have gotten some awesome sheep-goat hybrid if they had left them there.
Okay, I think a lot of people want to know.
El Pasans want justice.
Yeah, right. What exactly happened? Is there body cam footage of when Bob the Mountain Goat died?
Was he resisting or something?
Right. Did he get tased? What actually went on?
What color of goat was he?
He was white.
He was white. So even more outrage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Anyway, Bob the Mountain Goat is
R.I.P.
deceased. R.I.P. Bob the Mountain Goat. You can read all about it. Joanna's post at KLAQ.com. There's a lot of interesting stuff up there, including my ongoing search for caffeine-free Dr. Pepper, which it's one of those things that went away during COVID, and then when COVID ended, it never came back. I have a lot of people that, and I thank you, I'm sure you're trying to be very helpful, that are giving me some bum steers here. Like
they're all leading you astray.
They're all like, go to Amazon. I've already been to Amazon. Yeah, it says it'll sell it to you, but as soon as you click on that, it says, we're sorry, we're out of this product right now. I called Dr. Pepper headquarters in Plano. And the lady
you feel
said,
like they were just like dismissive of you?
Well, no, they said that it's still in production, but there are distribution and route issues. And I let it go at that. But you cannot find. Nico found some online, but it was like $34 for a 12-pack. That's insane.
Oh, my God.
Also, if you go through with it and fill it out, I still think there's a good chance it'll come back and say, we don't have this product in stock right now. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I got you some of those snack cakes that you were talking about yesterday. Remember, your thing was these certain little Debbie Snap cakes went away and never came back after COVID.
Brownies with walnuts.
Yeah. Well, I found the galactic stars.
The cosmic ones.
The cosmic ones.
Those are still good.
Those are still good.
It's not the same.
And I was going to give them to you as a present, but I got up in the middle of the night. I really needed a snack, so I ate them. That's what happened, man. telling you, I'm going to really
Buzz is in the
surprise
dark
you.
eating a cosmic brownie.
Yeah, I eat 2 of them. You can have the rest if you want them. Coming up, we've got Today in Sound Clips on the way. We'll be getting to some of our top stories of the day with sound bites on the way in just a moment.
The Daily Calendar.
Today is September 13th. Celebrate your coiffless chums. It's Bald is Beautiful Day.
If it wasn't beautiful, eagles wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's International Chocolate Day for the treat traced back to
450 BC.
That's a lot of BCs.
It's Supernatural Day and Positive Thinking Day, and since it's the first Friday the 13th of the year, it's National Blame Someone Else Day. Blaming others has been happening since Adam and Eve.
Yeah, well, if you didn't eat that apple.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, and tonight on Loudwire.
There are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Originating in El Paso, for El Paso, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Dallas Cowboys. We are the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy football.
Woo! Dallas Cowboys. This weekend they play the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, woo! Come on, Buzz. Give me a woo! Come on, Joanna. Give me a woo! Nico. Hope you okay, Nico? Nico, come on. Woo! All right. As they're getting closer and closer to you know what? Woo! Yeah! And come on. This weekend, too. Let's go, Miners!
Okay. All right. This guy, I like him because every Friday during football season, he gets me pumped up for the weekend.
Yeah, he does.
He does a real good job of that. Thank you. Woo! You get a woo from me anytime, friend. Got a couple of calls here about the search for caffeine-free Dr. Pepper. And people are also mentioning the things that they cut back on during COVID that they never brought back. So I think my caffeine-free Dr. Pepper was a victim of COVID. And Joanna, your Little Debbie snack cakes with walnuts.
With the walnuts.
Also.
R.I.P.
Never came back after the pandemic.
No.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Buzz, I actually would be wary of ordering that Dr. Pepper through Amazon. There's a high possibility that when you get it, it's not the same caffeine-free Dr. Pepper that you saw in the picture. It could be diet caffeine-free or even regular. I like the body wash from Irish Spring. They had this really good scent that they no longer make, but I found it on Amazon. It had the picture of that original bottle, and I bought 5 bottles for like $60. And when I got them, it was the new Irish Spring, the one that I didn't want. So, talking about angry. Anyways, just my thoughts. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, talk about angry.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice, though. Be weary of.
Yeah, what if they want $34, even if I was willing to pay that, which I'm not for a 12-pack. If I was, and then they just sent me a regular Dr. Pepper that I could have gotten for $4 or $5 off the shelf.
Hey, Buzz. Well, first off, good morning, morning show.
Good morning.
Wanted to say that they have the fountain drink version of caffeine-free Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola at Wingstop. They have like that machine with all the different options and stuff in it.
Oh, yeah. You know, the one, and they do
The
have
fancy
a lot of
one.
options. That doesn't do me any good. I don't want to go to Wingstop to get a caffeine-free Dr. Pepper. I want to get a caffeine-free Dr. Pepper right before bed.
Unless you find an all-night Wingstop, you're out of luck.
They do have the caffeine-free versions there. I mean, obviously, it's not a can, something you can take home, but go get a bucket or something. What you do. All right, man. Take it easy. Have a good morning, y'all.
I'm going to show up with my own. What's the thing that they used to do at like breweries? You could bring in your jug.
The jug.
What the hell was that called?
Growlers.
A
There we go.
growler. Yeah. Thank you, Nico.
Just take your own. I'll take the 6-piece wings and a drink and go ahead and fill it up, and it's your growler.
I just got my growler of Dr. Pepper.
Hey, we've just had some great concerts here within the past couple of weeks. Joanna went to go see Lamb of God a couple of weeks ago. She went to go see Jelly Roll on Monday.
I don't think I've even fully recovered from Lamb of God.
From Lamb of God, right.
Let alone Jelly Roll this past week.
Here are some of the other concerts that are coming up in the near future. Blackstone Cherry is going to be performing. It's going to be a club show at the Rock House Saturday, October the 12th, so a little over a month away. Closer, though, Escape the Fate is going to be at Speaking Rock, and that is Saturday, September 21st, a week from tomorrow. Then moving back into the month of October, it's Throwback Show, Classic Rock with Foreigner and Loverboy at the Pan Am Center in Las Cruces. That's going to be October 9th at the Pan Am Center. Everybody's working for the weekend. And then I'm very excited because these guys are going to come in and we get to meet them, and they're going to perform for us in the studio. And I'm talking about Soul Asylum.
Woo!
They're going to be at Lowbrow Palace, and that show is Tuesday, October 15th. Bought a ticket for a runaway train. Something down a runway track.
Runaway train. God, we should learn the words before they come in.
Well, I had to learn how to. I know the lead singer's name, how it's spelled, but I didn't know how to pronounce it. So Dave Pirner is. I figured that out. So
okay.
Dave Pirner and Soul Asylum are going to be here in October.
Will learn all those lyrics.
We will. We'll give it a listen. It's been a while since I heard it. Let's go ahead and do our sound clips.
And now, today in sound clips.
All the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. So Trump yesterday said he's not going to do a second debate. And he says because he won the first one by so much. Speaking at a campaign rally in Charlotte, North Carolina, yesterday, though, Vice President Kamala Harris referred to the debate this week with former President Trump and says that she wants another one.
And I believe we owe it to the voters to have another debate.
Oh, wow.
She was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here she is talking a little bit more about the debate this week.
But that's not what we heard from Donald Trump. Instead, it was the same old show. That same tired playbook that we've heard for years.
Well, it looks like it's a lot less likely that another debate's going to happen. Trump said in an interview yesterday that pretty much everything was discussed. We talked about him eating the cats and the dogs. We talked about Abdul, the head of the Taliban.
The important things.
And we talked about transgender surgery for illegal aliens in prison. Everything was covered. He says, I want to get on with my business. Trump said his campaign is not interested in another debate with Vice President Kamala Harris.
We just don't think it's necessary. We won the two. I had one with, as you know, Joe. That was quite a famous debate. And then we had another one the other day, and it was both very successful. In fact, my poll numbers went up since the debate.
There's a lot of investigation into public corruption in New York City politics with Mayor Eric Adams and members of his cabinet. The latest is that Ed Cabin resigned as New York City Police Commissioner yesterday as a federal investigation continues into the NYPD. Cabin's phone was seized last week at the same time that the homes of top aides to New York City Mayor Eric Adams had their homes raided. Cabin's twin brother, James, owns a nightclub security business. He also had his phone seized. This investigation into the nightclub thing, federal investigators are reportedly trying to determine if James profited from his ties to his brother, the police commissioner. Here is Mayor Eric Adams yesterday announcing that he had accepted the resignation of the police commissioner.
A short time ago, I accepted the resignation of the NYPD Commissioner, Edward Caban. He concluded that this is the best decision at this time. I respect his decision, and I wish him well.
All right. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced he'd already appointed an interim police commissioner.
To ensure crime keeps going down in our city today, I'm taking immediate action in appointing Tom Donlin as interim police commissioner.
All right. And moving ahead with some other stories here in Today in Sound Clips. Ewan McGregor had his Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony, and his Star Wars co-star Hayden Christensen.
And I just found out who his wife is.
Remind me of her name again?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth.
Who's she?
I couldn't believe it. Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah, she's beautiful.
She's in that HBO show that I was telling you about. A Gentleman in Moscow. She's in it with him.
Wait, is she Hayden Christensen's wife or
Ewan McGregor's?
Ewan McGregor's wife.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's wife.
And she was in the one with Rosario Dawson, the Star Wars thing on Disney Plus. What the hell was that? Ahsoka.
Uh-huh.
She was in Ahsoka. Ewan McGregor got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin, spoke at the ceremony.
Before I can even put eyes on him, I hear his voice, and he exclaims my name with more enthusiasm than I think I'd ever heard it spoken with before. I mean, he comes and just gives me the biggest hug, like just the most disarmingly warm embrace. He's telling me how excited he is to be working together and how much fun we're going to have doing our lightsaber training, and it was immediately apparent to me that I was meeting someone truly special. Not just as an actor, but as a person. And I was meeting a friend.
Aww, that's beautiful.
Hey, I wonder at James Earl Jones' funeral, if it's open casket, are they going to superimpose Hayden Christensen's face on James Earl Jones? That was for the nerds out there, everybody. Moving along. A man in D.C. was caught performing, how can I put this? Performing a lewd act on himself and
choking the chicken.
No, he was choking the cucumber because he was performing the act on himself with a cucumber.
Oh.
Again, this was in broad daylight. He then put the cucumber back in his lunchbox and walked away. Here are people from the neighborhood talking about what happened.
I want my neighbors to know and keep an eye out for this person. I want parents to be mindful. They're high school students. They walk by themselves to and from school.
Just children walking around. You just have neighborhood kids, elementary school, middle school, and high school.
It was that eye contact that really unsettled me because it then continues for longer than one would imagine.
That is camera owner Catherine Baker, who says that the man stared directly at her with the camera while he was going about his business, and that was something that really shook her up.
Wow.
In Canada, a lot of people are saying that a neighborhood jerk called the police on a 58-year-old woman who accidentally sprayed him with a little bit from a water gun. A 58-year-old woman was playing with neighborhood kids with a water gun. She says some of the water accidentally got on her neighbor who was mowing his yard.
Oh.
The guy has a reputation for being a jerk, for calling the police out for minor incidents, but police did not cut the 58-year-old woman any slack. They arrested her for assault with a weapon.
Water gun.
Here is Wendy Washik telling her side of the story.
Because I love kids and work with kids, I asked him if he had any water guns, and he said, yeah. I was trying to figure out how the water gun was working, and it accidentally hit the neighbor that was like maybe 3 feet away cutting his grass. They had told my husband to bring your wife out of the backyard, that I'm being charged with assault with a weapon. They didn't ask me one single question. They didn't interview one single person. I've cried myself to sleep many nights.
All right. So Wendy says she has been suspended from her job because of the arrest. And, it's other people in the neighborhood says, yeah, this guy's a real jerk. He'll call the police over anything.
Oh.
History was made yesterday when crew members from the Polaris Dawn mission suited up in specially designed SpaceX spacesuits and did a spacewalk outside the capsule. Now, what was A first time, though, it was the first ever private spacewalk. Anytime astronauts have gone out into space and walked, it's always been, NASA or some other country's space agency. This is the first time somebody did it privately. Here is audio of when, and of course, it was a billionaire.
Yeah, he paid to do this. It wasn't like a scientific mission.
Billionaire. Well, I think I think they did do some scientific stuff along with the mission.
Oh, okay.
But this guy paid to go up and walk in space. Billionaire Jared Isaacman exited to the cheers of the crew back on the ground.
The hatch is open on Dragon. First view from a helmet cam.
This is Jared now egressing through the forward hatch of Dragon Resilience. These are the first views of the first ever commercial spacewalk.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world. SpaceX EV1, congrats for the huge team effort that it took to get us to this point. We know it's just the start.
How exciting.
SpaceX employee Sarah Gillis. Yeah, how exciting for billionaires everywhere.
All 10 of them.
There are a lot more billion. You don't think they're just 10 billionaires?
No, I know there's like a lot more.
SpaceX employee Sarah Gillis also exited the capsule. The other two crew members remained inside. But get this, Nico, the hatch was open, so they were exposed to space conditions 435 miles above Earth. The SpaceX Dragon capsule traveled further into space than any spacecraft has gone in more than 50 years since NASA's Apollo era. So after we did our moon missions, none of the space or manned craft that we've sent up have gone any higher than this one did yesterday. The craft also surpassed the height reached by NASA's Gemini 11 in the 60s, according to SpaceX. A really concerning moment in the NFL yesterday on Thursday Night Football. The Bills defeated the Dolphins, and Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Dolphins, got another serious concussion. This is at least the third, and there's probably more concussion. Well, like in 2022, Tua got hit real hard.
I keep thinking you're about to say Hawk Tua.
Hawk Tua got hit, and he stumbled as he was trying to walk off, and they let him stay in the game. Well, the team neurologist got fired over that decision in 2022, and then he played all of 2023. There was another concussion, though, where he was hit, and they call it a fencing stance, Nico, when your hand seizes up.
Oh.
It did that again last night. So really, really scary. Here's the call, though, as the Buffalo Bills defeat the Miami Dolphins 31-10.
Miami fans are going to say, what's wrong with Miami? I think this is a lot about what's right with Buffalo. I think week 2, long way to go, but there's a lot to like about this Buffalo Bills team after tonight.
There is a lot of concern, and Tua himself has even talked that he's contemplated retiring because he's had so many concussions. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel was frustrated with questions after the game about the Tua timeline.
The furthest thing from my mind is, what is the timeline? I want to know. We just need to evaluate and just worry about my teammate.
I think when neurological symptoms start to develop, that's the signal to start to hang your hat up.
I don't know if this would be considered ironic or not, but the concussion that Tua got last night, he got hit by the Bills' Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin was the guy who had the massive heart event on the field a couple of years ago. Remember it? Everybody was so worried about Damar Hamlin. Well, he was in on the tackle of Tua last night. In the other locker room, the Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen used his interview time to talk about Tua and his injury.
First and foremost, I just want to say, I hope Tua's doing okay. I'm praying for him and his family. But came out to play, and our guys are ready today.
Obviously, it was a scary moment for a lot of folks seeing what happened to Tua. What were your emotions as you saw him there on the ground?
Well, I mean, understanding what's happened in the past and just knowing that I'm praying for him and his family. He's a great football player, but I've been around him outside of the football field, and an even amazing human, an even more amazing human.
All right. And a final story here. The police in Springfield, Ohio, say Haitian immigrants aren't eating people's pets. The governor,
thank God,
who's a Republican of Ohio, says that's not happening. But J.D. Vance and his running mate, Donald Trump, are not letting this thing go. They're still pushing the immigrants are eating your cats and dogs thing. And the GOP party in Arizona have put up dozens of billboards pushing the idea that immigrants are eating cats. They're Chick-fil-A style ads. By the way, I drove through Arizona. If you think Texas is like Trump crazy, Arizona is 20 times more. I mean, just like the vile things that people have on their vehicles and flags and stuff. It's one thing to have a Trump flag, I guess, but there's another to have the F word, like the full F word, F, Joe, and the hoe. So Arizona is its own special place.
GFAM915 in our app chat says, good morning, guys. Talking about Haitians eating pets in Ohio. This is true. Look up Haitian voodoo. They sacrifice animals and eat them. This is part of their rituals. Trump isn't lying, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, the police there say it's not happening. The governor says it's not happening. Here are Arizonans reacting to the billboard campaign on, I want to point out, listen, debunked claims that immigrants are eating pets.
More silliness, more craziness.
I think they're a distraction from real problems, and it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Everyone has their own mind to decide, hey, is this good or bad, or if it's true or whatever.
Well, what's going to happen?
That's not how it works. You don't get to decide if it's true or not.
Right.
You look for evidence and facts. So,
well, people are going to probably think it's like a joke thing and not vote for whatever they're saying. Eat cats?
It's a problem plaguing America. More specifically, Springfield. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Well, now you can help. You can rescue a dog or cat that's under the constant threat of being eaten in Springfield.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhearing, but...
Who are you?
I'm Homer Simpson. I live in Springfield, and we don't eat dogs or cats, and...
Liar! You're eating the dogs. You're eating the cats. You're eating the pets in Springfield. And I'm going to rescue those dogs and give them to somebody who's not hungry for dog and cat meat. And every month, I'm going to send you a picture of the dog or cat that's been adopted, and you're going to see how they're safe from your deadly mouth.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. You're eating the dogs and cats like they're donuts.
Donuts.
So please, adopt a dog or cat that's in danger of being eaten in Springfield. You'll be glad you did.
Good morning, Chuck Armstrong here, and I will be along tonight at 7 to get your weekend off to a rockin' start with Loudwire Nights. Then tomorrow at 5, it's 2 hours of ultimate metallics
for every boy's game. Ask your Twin Peaks girl for more details.
Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
We're going to get to the Mo Show calendar, daily almanac of events. Then Joanna in the 7 o'clock hour is going to have our Hollywood Cheese May. We've got comics coming by. The comics are going to be at the El Paso Comics Show.
Stephen Michael Quezada, he was on Breaking Bad, actually.
Yeah, he
played Gomi.
Gomi.
Yeah.
Not Skinny Peter Badger.
Not Badger,
Gomi.
no. I wish we could interview that guy.
That is the show at the comic strip. And do you have your open mic tonight?
I do. I have a regular open mic for anybody who wants to come out and try their hand at stand-up comedy or just to watch the comics. It's pros, amateurs, and everything in between. That starts at 9:30 tonight at Scenic's Bar and Kitchen, 4180 North Mesa. I will be the host, and it's going to be a good time. Good food, good drinks.
I'm going to go to I haven't been to an NFL game since I went to a Cowboys game, I don't know, 17, 18 years ago, something like that. So my boss is from Chicago. He's a big Bears fan. And so I'm going to go up there and watch the Bears play the Texans.
When is that?
Well, the game, it's the Sunday night game.
This
so I'm
Sunday?
in Houston, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I won't be on the show Monday.
Oh.
But everybody's going to, but me still has to show up.
Right.
This was in the meeting yesterday.
Right.
Let me get a couple of calls, and then we'll do the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events. I'll get a little ahead of the calendar, though, and say to everybody out there, happy National Bald is Beautiful Day.
Woo!
Especially for you folks without hair.
Woo!
All right, here's a call.
Hey, guys. I was sitting here, I was listening to one of the podcasts from the previous ones, and I started thinking this morning, did you guys have a story where I think John Bon Jovi saved a woman hanging from a bridge? It got us when I heard that. I was getting ready for work this morning, and I thought I heard something right now, but I was thinking, damn, I'm glad it was John Bon Jovi and it wasn't David Lee Roth. He might have said, might as well jump.
Might as well jump.
Have a good one.
Did Bon Jovi save somebody's life?
Yeah, Joanna had that in a Hollywood Cheesemate report earlier this week. He was filming a video on a bridge in Nashville, and there was a lady up there who was gonna jump, and Bon Jovi helped talk her down. Let's see. Well, we'll get to some more neckline calls coming up here in just a little bit, but I want to get into the Mo Show calendar in just a second. But I do want to tell you about the dining deal that goes live this morning at 10 a.m. We were up at La Posta in Old Mesilla on Monday. Chris, whose family owns La Posta, has owned it since the 1990s. They are famous for their best Mexican food, the steaks, award-winning margaritas. And this weekend, they're celebrating 85 years of serving Mesilla Valley. For about 60 years before they became a restaurant, that building was there, and it was a home for the Griggs family for a long time. It was on the Stagecoach route. So that's how I got the name La Posta. And it's right smack in the center of the square in Old Mesilla. And they're having big celebrations for their 85th anniversary. And also, Old Mesilla is having a big 16 de Septiembre celebration that's going to start today. 16 is actually on Monday. Take advantage of this dining deal this morning at 10 o'clock. It's going to go live. What you get, the opportunity to buy a $50 certificate for only $25. That's right. Get them while they last. We only make 100 of these, but you could get a $50 food certificate. You pay only $25 for La Posta in Old Mesilla. Well, this is. I'm going to call an audible here. I guess we have a live call, and it's somebody who has an "Am I the A-hole?" question for us. All right, Charles is on the line. Hello, Charles.
Hey, how you doing, Buzz?
Doing good. Hey. I understand you have an "Am I the A-hole?"
I think, yeah, I wanted to get your guys' opinion, especially since you're a golfer, and I think the other guys aren't. So here's what the deal is.
All right.
I do home health, so I see patients in their home and driving around all day, and even the weekends I might get called in. So it's hard to squeeze in golf. But I had this idea, hey, I get a patient cancel, maybe I could practice a little golf. So I went and I bought this bucket about 50 balls worth foam golf balls. They don't go very far.
Yeah, that's right.
I hit a 7-iron, I hit 140. These things go 20 yards at the most. So I bring them out there and say, okay, I got a cancellation. I can squeeze in a half hour of practicing golf. So I go to the park.
Where?
Yeah.
Where did you go to practice golf?
It was at that park, Summerlin Park Mall, that park that's right there, right off of Summerlin Park, going up towards Mesa. There's a big park right there.
Oh, okay, all right. But a park.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm hitting them, and all of a sudden this lady, I wasn't hitting at her, but she's walking to the side. She comes at me screaming, "Hey, you, go to a driving range. You're going to kill somebody." And then, and just really laying into me pretty good. I kind of was taken back, but I said, "Okay, ma'am, these aren't real golf balls. They're foam golf balls." She said, "Okay," but she still wasn't happy. And I thought about it, and I said, well, first I was kind of upset. I should be able to do that. Then a second thought, I'm thinking, well, she has no idea. I'm not stupid enough to out there and be actually hitting real golf balls. They look like real golf balls. And so I'm thinking, should I just avoid the situation? Should Should I just make sure no one's around, or should I get a big sign that says foam golf balls? So I was curious what the correct thing to do in a situation, what you guys thought anyway.
Okay, so they're foam golf balls. They're not going to hurt anybody.
No, and they don't go far. Like, 20 yards, what I normally hit 140 yards. I just had my 7-iron. I don't bring my whole.
The only thing I would wonder about, Charles, is if maybe a park employee might come out and say, hey, please don't chip golf balls. You're tearing up the grass or something. But
that's true. I didn't think about that. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
So maybe
I can tell from talking to you that you're not an a-hole. It sounds like you complied with what the woman was saying. I don't think you're the a-hole, but I think that somebody might come out and say, hey, you're gonna. We chip those foam golf balls in my backyard.
Okay.
But I don't worry about. It's my yard. Mm-hmm. But they might come out and say, hey, don't do that out here. So, all right. All right, Charles,
good.
Not the a-hole.
I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Do what we can to help, man.
Joanna, were you as lost as I was?
At first I was, and then he kind of reworded his question.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he just wanted to know if he was in the wrong. Should he do something else now? Did you not get what he said?
I just heard golf. Today
is Friday the 13th. Ooh. Are you superstitious?
I'm not superstitious.
You're just regular stitious.
Yeah. Here is Mitch Hedberg, the late Mitch Hedberg, talking about Friday the 13th and superstitions.
My hotel doesn't have a 13th floor because of superstition. But come on, man. People on the 14th floor, you know what floor you're really on. What room are you in? 1401. No, you're not. Jump out the window. You will die earlier. Because 13 is an unlucky number, right? Well, then so should the letter B be, because B looks like a scrunched together 13. Hello, what is your name? Bob. Get the away. If 13 is unlucky, then 12 and 14 are guilty by association. I saw you 12. You were hanging out with 13. No, I wasn't. I was with 11. You talked to 14 about that. What you got to say, 14? Me divided by 2 equals 7? All right, I was with 13.
This is Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, El Paso's best...
Musil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Can you tell me what day it is?
Today is Friday.
Friday the 13th. Ready for that? Friday the 13th?
It's Friday the 13th.
It's Friday the 13th.
I'm not superstitious.
He's really superstitious.
Me superstitious? You must be kidding. There's no point in being superstitious.
Yes, there is. You are the unluckiest person in the world.
This show is the unluckiest show on the radio.
It's showtime.
It is Friday the 13th.
Spooky.
I floated the idea past Joanna. There used to be these anti-superstition clubs that whenever Friday the 13th would roll around.
Clubs?
Yeah, they would have parties where they would walk under ladders and break mirrors and spill salt without throwing some over your shoulder.
They're just asking for it.
Yeah,
really.
Just asking.
Well, that's supposed to prove that superstitions are a bunch of hogwash, horse feathers, and nonsense. Jim Kraken bunkum.
Tomfoolery.
And when I say that I'm not superstitious, I mean, I think everybody's got their own little superstitions. So when I played sports, competitively.
You didn't wash something.
Yeah, right. If we won, I would not wash my jersey. I'd want it to still have the sweat that we won in the jersey. Mostly basketball. But also, like church softball league, if we won a game, I'm wearing the same shirt without washing it. So that's pretty superstitious.
Did your mom ever accidentally wash it and you were like, no?
I never told anybody about it. I just did it without letting anybody know because I realized it was gross probably. A survey found that an overwhelming majority of Americans don't really care about the date. And that's what we decided was, come on, what are you, 7 years old? Nobody's really scared of a Friday the 13th, are they?
It's all those movies they've come out with. Really. Demystified the holiday, I'd say.
When people were asked, do you think Friday the 13th is an unlucky day? 80% said that it's definitely not or probably not unluckier than any other day. However, 11% of people say that they think it is definitely an unlucky day. Men are twice as likely as women to believe that Friday the 13th is inherently unlucky. But men are more likely to consider themselves superstitious overall. That's not what I've observed. Like women are into all kinds of New Age crap.
Who started this terrible rumor about Friday the 13th?
There are different...
circulate.
It's when they killed witches, Joanna.
So there are a few theories about how this started. So supposedly, I guess the Last Supper, Jesus' Last Supper, with the disciples was on a Friday. And there were 13 dinner guests, 12 disciples and Jesus. Somebody else says that it was Friday the 13th when the order went out to eliminate all of the Knights Templar during the Middle Ages. I wonder if that's where they got the idea for hunting down all the Jedi from that. You're reading about the Knights Templar right now, aren't you?
I do have
Do they talk about the Knights Templar founder, Jacques Molay? Very much.
They do. They do not mention Order 66 by Palpatine,
The
though.
Order 66, that's basically what they did to the Knights Templar, though. Or have you not gotten that far in your book?
Yes, I know about that part.
Okay. We're going to have some random facts, and including a musical random fact coming up for you in just a few moments. Let's look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events first. I just wanted to mention real quick, we're going to have one of the stars from Breaking Bad coming by later.
Cool.
Comedian Stephen Michael Quezada, who played, so Hank was Walt's brother-in-law, and Hank was a DEA agent. His partner, Gomi, at the Albuquerque DEA, that's who Stephen Michael Quezada played.
Right.
And he was in every single season of Breaking Bad. He and Hank did, spoilers. I better stay away, right? There might be somebody who's just now
Didn't
binging.
the show end like a while back?
Oh, yeah.
It
Oh,
did.
you can give spoilers to Breaking Bad. That's fine.
Well, Hank and Gomi got killed in the same episode. Gunned down and buried in the desert.
That was a big spoiler.
Okay. Well, Stephen Michael Quezada, who played Gomi, is going to be coming in later. I'm sorry. I just needed to get that in.
Cool.
We are going to do the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events, however. Today is Friday the 13th. It's also Bald is Beautiful Day.
Woo!
Yeah. Today's International Chocolate Day. Today is National Celiac Awareness Day. That's interesting because I think if you have celiac disease, you're not supposed to eat chocolate, are you?
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm floating that past Nico, the medical expert.
No, I have no idea.
What a cruel joke to have them on the same day.
Today's also National Peanut Day. Chocolate and
peanut.
Wait. Oh, your nephew.
Okay, so celiac disease is where you need to have gluten-free.
Yeah.
That's where you need to be gluten-free. And many pure chocolate is gluten-free, but many products that contain chocolate might have other things with them, so you might need to look into it.
Today is also Scooby-Doo Day. Roy?
Uh-oh.
Birthdays today include singer Fiona Apple. Her Grammy-winning smash hit was called Criminal. Fiona Apple is 47. A couple of Beatles spawn are having birthdays today. Stella McCartney, a famous fashion designer, is 53. She's the daughter of Paul and Linda McCartney. And Zach Starkey, Ringo Starr's son, and he is now the drummer for The Who. Zach Starkey is 59 today. Also, Tyler Perry turns 55. The comedian known as the Roastmaster General, comedian Jeffrey Ross, is 59 today. Dave Mustaine, lead singer and guitarist of Megadeth, is 63 today. And a birthday for Jean Smart, who she was Charlene on Designing Women, and now she's on that...
but what she's really famous for is Hacks.
Hacks, that, I want to say Showtime?
HBO.
HBO show Hacks. Peter Cetera, one of the singers for Chicago, is 80 today. Big solo career, too.
Does Brad love that band, too?
Does he? No, he loves The Who, but I don't know. I've never heard him express an opinion one way or the other for Chicago. Today is Stand Up to Cancer Day. Also, as I mentioned, Bald is Beautiful Day.
Woo!
A couple of dates in history that I think you might find interesting. 125 years ago, in 1899, a man named Henry Bliss was hit by a car in New York City. It was.
Did he see it coming?
I don't know if he saw it coming, but that's not what made this accident famous. He was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately, Bliss died shortly afterwards, becoming the first automobile fatality in America.
Man. He didn't know to look both ways yet.
Yeah, there probably was, I bet when that happened, a lot of people were like, you knew this was going to happen. We need to go back to horses.
Ignorance is bliss.
53 years ago in 1971, the 4-day inmates' rebellion at Attica Correctional Facility in upstate New York ended when police and guards stormed the prison. The chaos of the final assault claimed 43 lives.
Al Pacino was part of that riot, wasn't he?
No. Al Pacino was in a movie called Dog Day Afternoon. It had nothing to do with that riot, but his character went out to the crowd that had gathered around because it was like a standoff with the police, and he got the crowd to start yelling, Attica, Attica. You might, even if you didn't know about the Attica or you never saw that movie, you might have
heard the chant
Attica. That's what it's all about. And it was 15 years ago, in 2009, Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs to make sure that we all knew Beyonce had the best video of all time. Of all time. That was 15 years ago. Bald is Beautiful Day. Have you given any more thought about just going squeaky clean on top?
No, I have hair right now. I'm not. People are always saying that they're surprised by how much more hair I have in person. And
that's sweet of them to say that.
Just because you can easily lie about things on air.
Fast car, make the scene. When I step out, I look like Mr. Clean. Tattoos, both arms. I look real tough, but I will kill you with charm. I use the same stuff ladies use on their legs. Every girl's crazy for a shiny bald head.
And now it's time for
1, 2, 3
Random
Facts.
All of these facts are sourced and fact-checked and vetted.
I appreciate that about
you. I put in a lot of work on these. Random fact number 1. The United States imports more oil from Canada than from all the Middle Eastern countries combined.
Canada.
We import a lot of oil from Mexico, and we produce a lot in the United States, too.
Yeah.
Random fact number 2. Who thought to ask this question, and who thought, I'm going to do the math and figure it out?
Okay.
All the man-made objects on Earth weigh approximately 30 trillion tons.
What?
If you take all the buildings, all the houses, all the cars, anything man-made, they weigh approximately 30 trillion tons.
Wow.
And final random fact of the day. Every element on the periodic table has to be named after one of 5 things. Something from mythology, a mineral, a location, a property of the element, or a scientist.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that?
I did not. That's interesting.
There's like some of these elements were only discovered or came into existence within the past 50 years. So I don't know if
Right.
they're even like Einsteinium, named after a scientist, right?
Yeah.
Californium. There are new elements since Tom Lehrer did his Element song. Do you know the Element song?
No.
My kids used to know every single word of this because I think they did a version of it on Tiny Toons.
Okay.
But here you go. It's
The
the Element
Element
song.
song.
Yes.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, protactinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. There's yttrium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, and bismuth, bromine, lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and mercury, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium and lead, praseodymium and platinum, plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium and tantalum, technetium, titanium, tellurium and cadmium and calcium and chromium and curium. There's sulfur, californium, and fermium, berkelium, and also mendelevium, einsteinium, nobelium, and argon, krypton, neon, radon, xenon, zinc, and rhodium, and chlorine, carbon, cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium. These are the only ones of which the news has come to Harvard. And there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Drive. Let's and as smooth as that first quiet morning coffee. Right Drive, the only way to drive.
Broadcasting from El Paso for El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
Real quick, I want to remind you we have Dining Deal going live. It's a historic restaurant in Old Mesilla, La Posta. You can get a $50 food certificate for half price, just $25 while they last. They're celebrating their 85th anniversary. Do you remember the the hallway? We ate there on Monday, where they had the employees who had worked there. Like some of the employees had worked there since the 1930s, and I saw on the Wall of Fame, one of them had just passed away in 2016. He worked there since he was a teenager, all his life. And the owners were telling us that sometimes people come in their 80s and they'll say,
remember.
My parents used to bring me and my sister here when we were little kids.
Steven's from New Mexico. Right?
Hey, Steven, how are you doing?
I am. I'm from Albuquerque.
Have you ever been to Mesilla or Las Cruces area? In that Las Cruces area?
Somewhat, yeah, somewhat. I have.
They got it's like historic. Like these were buildings made in the 1850s.
Where Billy the Kid hung out and got arrested and stuff. Stephen Michael Quezada is our guest. He is a stand-up comic and comedy club owner, I just found out, and played Hank's partner in the DEA on Breaking Bad. Now that is a prestige television at its highest level.
You know,
how does
the show that kills everybody doesn't die is what I'm calling Breaking Bad.
How does it feel to think I was part of what some people call the best TV show of all time?
You know, you just try to think that whatever you put out, you do your best. I think we all take our jobs real seriously. I mean, you have the coolest name. You get up in the morning and your name is Buzz. And so,
well, you got three names. You're a Stephen Michael Quezada.
Yeah, because there was like 4 Stevens in my first grade class. And so the teacher didn't know what to do. So there was Stephen Michael, Stephen Ray, Stephen Joseph, and I forgot the 4th guy. And we had those names all the way.
I had a similar
through high school and everything, man.
We got to be kind of from the same generation because my first name is Michael, and there were so many Mikes, and Michael, it was just such a popular name.
Yeah.
People got nicknames.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened. So she just used both names on all of us, and that kind of stuck, So it's just my professional name, but, Yeah, Breaking Bad, broke barriers. It changed television in so many different ways. It created binge watching. I mean, just a lot of things that, we're doing now. Some good things, some bad things, growing up, TV shows would have like 20 episodes, and it was a real good way to make a living. And then, Breaking Bad kind of, stopped doing that.
How many episodes did they have per season on Breaking Bad?
Around 10.
10.
Yeah.
I hear from a lot of people who are like, I really wish television shows would go back to doing 20 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, you want a full season.
And that's for you working on the show as well, right?
Well, let's talk about television now, right? If we get into something, whatever comes out, we're like, this is great, and we watch the 10 episodes, but it's like 2 years before the next season comes out, and
let's talk about that for a second.
Forgot about everything. You know what I mean?
That's why they show the season again, because it's been 2 years. I forgot what these characters were doing and where we are. I need to brush up.
So a lot of times, if something finally comes out, I go back before the second season airs and watch the whole other season. So the good
got to do it.
So the good news is there's only 10 episodes and not 23, or 20. But I think we as actors in the industry, we miss that, because that kind of gave you work for a longer period of time. And I really truly believe that when you went back into production for the next season, you could start airing stuff as it was finished, finalized, and then so the seasons between seasons weren't as long as they are now, man. So I think Breaking Bad was a part of that. And the reason is the first season, we only did 7 episodes the first season because that was the year of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
And so they only had 7 scripts prepared to shoot. And so that was it. So that was the first season. The good news for me and Aaron Paul was, I think, at the end of season 1, the original end of season 1, I was going to die, and so was Aaron Paul. That both characters were going to die.
Maybe the writer's strike saved you.
Saved us both, right? And I think realistically, I think they could have probably brought in another partner for Hank and got away with it. I just don't really believe Breaking Bad would have been Breaking Bad without Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
Without Jesse's character, I don't really believe Breaking Bad would have been the Breaking Bad that we got today. So,
well, it certainly turned him into, basically a household name too.
Yeah,
and even Cranston as well. I mean, I love Cranston going back to Seinfeld.
Oh yeah. But no one could ever remember Breaking Bad. That was something we had never heard. That title, those 2 words together, nobody really, so I would tell people, I'm doing Breaking Bad, or I even have a hard time remembering, what show are you doing? Bad something.
Bad something, or
break,
bouncing bad something.
Yeah, break something.
Hey, I want to acknowledge.
And now when you say it, the whole world knows Breaking Bad.
Of course.
It's like, holy smokes, man. It's like the movie I'm in now, Strange Darling. It's like, here we go again.
You were telling me a little bit about that. I want to acknowledge that Chris Otero is here. So
yeah,
Chris
man.
My comedian. Hey, Chris. Everybody. Chris, are you likewise from New Mexico, or if not, where are you from?
I am from Albuquerque, and actually, you guys know more information about my state than I do.
Really?
I didn't know that information about Los Lunas and all that stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been touring with Chris for a long, long time, man.
Yeah.
We kind of took a hiatus from touring, but we're back. He's not only a really funny comic, he's just a great human being. So
I appreciate that.
A lot of times,
isn't it?
Well, a lot of times, we travel on our own, and so it's really cool to be. So so we drove out.
Drove down from Albuquerque. Yeah, why take a plane? Come on,
because it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I tell people, if it's under 500 miles, it's absolutely easier to just get in your car and drive.
It's ridiculous.
The plane would have taken 8 hours.
Yeah.
You pack. You got to leave when they say you got to leave. You got to come back when they say you got to come back. I drove to L.A.
Yeah,
a
lot of people. I'm doing a celebrity golf tournament, in Albuquerque on the 27th, and Raymond Cruz, who played Tuco.
Yeah,
he wants to come out and play in the tournament, and I go, where do you want to fly out of? He's like, nah, we're going to drive, because he's going to be with Sal Lopez from American Me and Blood. They're both from
Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah, they're both from Blood In and Blood Out. So they're friends still. And
do they live in L.A.?
Yeah, so they live in L.A. And he's like, no, man, I'm just going to drive out. And then same thing with RJ, who played Walt Jr. You know, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go do the golf tournament.
RJ Mitty.
RJ Mitty. And I told him, you want me to fly you out? And he's like, nah, me and my girlfriend are going to drive out. And I'm going to go 2 days early. They all love Albuquerque. They've all been connected somehow to Albuquerque. And you could say that about,
it's kind of El Dorado
Brian
for people
Aaron.
who, it's going to be a special place.
It's a special place for them, Brian and Aaron and Dean. It changed everybody's career. It changed, the trajectory of a hard-fought career. And we all know that this career is really hard to be successful in, and...
You mentioned you were at the Portland convention, like a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was at Comic-Con this last weekend.
You'll be able to do that, I would assume, for the rest of your life. People are going to love Breaking Bad forever. People are going to go back and watch it. When as much as you want to do it, you could probably find a convention to go to. And you said you were there with Dean Norris.
Dean and Raymond and the twins, the cousins. Betsy Brandt went. RJ was there. And it was really a cool reunion, really. We kind of hung out at night and the weekend and then just did the Comic-Cons during the day. And this is where you get a chance. And, I just didn't realize it the first one I did because Dean's the one that called me. He goes, hey, man, we're going to do these Comic-Cons. And I'm not going to take no for an answer, And, Dean is Hank.
To go to Comic-Con. That sounds like a blast.
No, it is. And I didn't, because I never knew, though. I didn't know really what it was or how it functioned, what's going on.
It's for nerds.
It's for nerds, man. Yeah, and I'm a nerd.
But
so.
it's not just
fun to me, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not just comic books. It's like shows, like culturally relevant shows, like
anime. I met.
Did you do a panel?
I met Steve from Blue's Clues.
No.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
I have a picture in my phone. No. I go, what? You're the original Steve. And he's like, what?
I hear Steve is like completely bald now.
He is bald.
Yeah.
Completely bald. He wears a hat and his glasses. Super nice guy. There were some big
It's
actors
weird that
there.
Gomi from Breaking Bad is kind of starstruck by Steve from Blue's Clues.
You just got on that. You must have had a kid like in the 90s.
I had three kids,
that watched Blues Clues.
Yeah, I had three daughters. I raised three daughters, so Steve was popular in my house.
Here's the mail, it never fails. Oh, yeah. Same with me.
Yeah, he was great, man. And then I got to meet Rosario Dawson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she came and sat next to me while I was eating lunch, and we talked for about a half hour.
At the con?
Yeah, she was at the con.
Was she promoting Ahsoka, like the Star Wars show she was on?
Yeah.
She's great.
She's great.
She was one of those people who actually got spotted. Like she got her first job in acting. It was that Harmony Korine movie, Kids, and he saw her sitting on the stoop outside her building in New York and said, "You'd be great for this movie." That's like being spotted at a soda shop in LA.
Well, right. Well, it was like, I think that was happened to James Bond and one of them. Like he was just walking through the park.
And somebody said, you look like you could be James Bond.
Yeah. And then he was James Bond.
It was probably that George Lazenby.
It was probably George Lazenby. That's the one who did one movie, one and done.
Yeah. But I mean, that happens, but that's like, I mean, you could either do that or buy a lottery ticket. I mean, those are the same odds.
For you, Stephen, which came first? Stand-up comedy on stage or acting?
Well,
which was your first passion?
Theater, man. I mean, theater. I went to Eastern New Mexico University, studied Shakespeare. And then
Where's that, Portales?
Yeah, in Portales. And then I came, and then when I went back, it was like, what is a Mexican Shakespeare actor, and where is he going to work?
Right. To be or not to be?
Orale, that's a question. No, really? That's a question? So
you could play. There are plenty of characters.
No, I
could play.
I did. I played Richard III. I did, Tartuffe. I was good at it, but it's just something that when you go audition for Shakespearean companies, they're just like, you're Mexican, right? And so it was weird. It was just, this was the 80s, man. So it wasn't very accepting. And I told them, well, that's what hair and makeup's for. That's why they invented that, right? So anybody could play. I go back in those days, men played women. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
Women weren't allowed to appear on the
stage. Don't say that now. That's woke.
Or like in The Merchant of Venice, wasn't there a Moor? Wasn't there like a...
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had to have...
That's some, right?
Well, look, I don't want to be too harsh on Shakespeare. The man lived 400 years ago, but yeah, there's some stuff in his plays that wouldn't fly necessarily
right now.
today.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
He's the greatest writer of the English language,
man, because
that ever
he
lived.
understood human nature in a way, and for me to study that and learn that really helped. But when I came back, I just thought, I've always done comedy as well, just kind of in the background. Like in high school, I do comedy for like all the talent shows and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of had
That's nerdy. I've seen that. When a kid gets
that.
up and does comedy like on the high, and they're in high school or junior high, it's like that takes a lot of nerve to do that.
It did, man. But it was just something that I kind of gravitated to. I was a big fan of Freddie Prinze. When I saw Freddie Prinze play a Chicano on television, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And so
first Chicano lead in a network series.
Yep, ever.
I think his son, Freddie still lives up there.
He was raised there because
they didn't settle.
But I think
there.
once he was old enough, he was gone.
Yeah,
he went to L.A. But his mom is from Albuquerque, and that's where Freddie Prinze had.
Yeah,
had
my
met her.
wife went to school with him.
With Freddie Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grew up there, but then once he was old enough, he bumped out, man.
I think I actually heard one time him kind of talking down Albuquerque one time.
Yeah,
It's like,
listen, man. And look, man, there's dangerous cities, and I have to tell people this. When you hang around with dangerous people, you're living in a dangerous city, man. And it's like that whole thing when your parents, be careful who you hang out with, man. And I think that's the case. Some people don't have a choice. Some people do. But I think all cities are dangerous. I'm a comic. I'm in different cities every other weekend, man. Yeah, and you just watch the news and you're like, okay, wait a minute.
Did you know El Paso, and this surprises everybody that doesn't know this, is consistently one of the top 10 safest large cities in America?
It is, yeah. I've always known that, right?
I've been here like 30 years. My family back in East Texas, around Dallas and Oklahoma and stuff, is like, you're saying safe down there on the border, aren't you? It's like, I live in a safer city than you do.
I know.
And you've got 12,000 people in your city.
Wow. It's funny that if you really look at the statistics, most of the crime is American.
Well, that is true. I mean, you hear so much about immigrant crime. It's like people talk about that like Americans don't commit crimes.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody has criminal element.
Yes, there's that percentage, right? Of no matter what, right? You can name anything and put it in a group, and I could guarantee you that there's a percentage of them that are criminals in some form or fashion.
And I'm willing to bet that in most groups, there are few criminals, and most people love their family and work hard, take care of. I think
we know that.
all the same.
We know that because we live in these areas, and we know that to be the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when we hear these, but it's politics, right? Everybody's running for office.
Yeah.
I'm a county commissioner in New Mexico as well.
Wait, you're a county commissioner in New Mexico?
I'm a county commissioner. I served on the school board for 4 years, and then I'm about finishing up my eighth year as a county commissioner.
That's crazy.
You're like a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do a lot of stuff, man.
All right, so I want you guys to stick around for another segment if it's okay.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'd love
Stephen
to.
Michael Quezada, who played Gomi, Agent Gomez.
Gomi is your homie.
Gomi's your homie. I think I've seen that T-shirt. Chris Otero, also from Albuquerque, is here with us. You can see them tonight at the Comic Strip. 2 shows on Saturday, and there's a Sunday show.
There is.
So
right.
Cowboys are playing early. There won't be a conflict.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah, he's a Bears. I'm a Cowboy fan.
I'm going to Houston this weekend to see the Bears play in Houston.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about football a little bit.
Yeah,
The season's back, and I'm a big college football fan.
Me too, man. Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but it's like, how do you lose to that?
Yeah. How do you do Who was it? Like Northern Illinois
Northern
Tech or
Illinois.
Yeah.
Or
home.
Yeah. Northern Illinois Tech. That's even worse.
Well, I went to. You guys may not like this, but depending on how you feel about Texas,
the performing arts school.
I went to Oklahoma, so I got to be going for the Sooners no matter what.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Chris and with Steven on the way right after this.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday,
that's friendles.com. And while you're there, check out our special promotions. Tell them Joe Lumber sent you.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Strip this weekend. Great show all the way from Albuquerque. Stephen Michael Quezada.
Yeah.
And Chris Otero, also from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
You know this rivalry? Are you aware of this El Paso-Albuquerque rivalry? It's like the nearest big city to
No,
us.
there's already too many gangs in this country.
Too many rivalries going on. Okay.
My dad said, "Don't you ever join a gang."
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't.
One of the great things about Breaking Bad, Steven played Gomi, Hank's partner. Hank was Walt's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Is that it really, I'm not going to say started the career, but it really introduced the world to Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
God.
I
That's
know.
such a hard name for me to remember,
I
but
know.
what a major talent that guy is. And he's
dude.
been making movies for 30 years before Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's brilliant. man.
And it really just kind of made him explode.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know,
He's on fire, man. And he does all those Comic-Cons, too. That guy's, I thought I was at it all the time. No, man. It makes me look like I'm slacking.
Does he have that Gus Fring personality in real life? Of course I know he's an actor,
Yeah,
but does he have that kind
he's
of...
got more of an energetic, kind of happy life kind of guy, you know. But he could turn that on and off like a switch, man. So you don't know. Yeah, he could get pissed at you. You'd be okay. I'm out of here, man. I don't even want to be near.
He's
that
now
guy.
part of the Star Wars thing. He was in
is,
the Mandalorian
man.
and stuff. So he surely had a long line of people waiting to meet him. I was watching Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing the other day.
Yeah.
Which I've already seen like 10 times. And I'm looking at a scene, I'm like,
that's Giancarlo.
Giancarlo's playing Bugging Out.
I don't remember that. Wow. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's done. Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's chasing a career for a long time, and now he's at the top of his game, and that's why I tell people out there, you gotta just keep at it. You gotta keep doing it. No one starts at the top. You all start at the bottom. You got to work hard, and no matter what you do, and you got to keep at it and never quit. And I was 44 years old when I walked into the room where I met Vince Gilligan, and he was sitting behind a camera, and I read for this role, and this role was life-changing for me. And
Vince Gilligan, he did the X-Files too.
Yeah, he did some of the X-Files.
He's made so much money, he could probably buy his own island and call it Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island.
I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever make that joke.
I think we did that early on. But that's okay, you got to keep thinking.
Breaking Bad kind of brought the spirit of Sopranos and these shows in the 2000s, to basic cable.
Yeah.
And really, you were talking earlier, kind of changed the way that we think about TV.
And how you wrote for TV, right? So we grew up on this regular format, right? So
you knew which night your show came on. You knew that when you went back to school, the show was going to return, and when it was summer break, the show was going away. I mean, you knew how it worked.
And even how they formatted a script, right? So we grew up in the era, really, of the Law and Order script, right? So there's a through line through the season, but each episode was self-contained, right? So they find a body, they hunt down the person.
You can just watch an episode and it stands on its own.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah. So Breaking Bad.
You couldn't do that.
Is long form. That's what we called it, long-form television, storytelling.
Well, I guess there was long-form television.
It was
like soap operas.
Maybe,
soap operas are the longest form television.
That's true.
I still watch soap
but anything goes. Do you?
Oh, my mom watched one, and so by osmosis, like I know all about Days of Our Lives, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I got suspended for fighting, and my mom had me spend the whole week with her folding laundry, cleaning the house, and she used to watch all my children. And so to this day, I watch Bold and the Beautiful for some reason.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. But all kinds of TV has changed. Reality TV has changed. How we watch television.
What gets me? The one thing that gets me is when I was growing up, game shows were on in daytime because they were easy to make and they were cheap. And now
Yeah.
it's like, that's prime time.
Yeah.
And some of them are the shows from the 70s. It's like Name That Tune, but with celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
And-
one with the whammy? That's back.
Yeah,
too.
the Pressure Luck.
Pressure Luck.
Yeah.
And they put it in prime time.
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on?
No,
I mean, if it's not
'cause
a
it's
singing
cheap.
competition or a dancing or
'Cause
something.
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, yes.
It's a business move. Yeah, you're not paying actors and writers and unions, and so that's they're changing the industry. But the good news is, great content is still being produced and it's being aired on
There's so much-
AMC
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Netflix.
Or Netflix or Amazon and everybody's in the game. As everybody knows, Netflix is their home base now is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They bought our studios out.
I know.
So-
Joanna keeps teasing me that she's going to Albuquerque to apply for jobs at Netflix all
That's
the
right.
time.
She's going to make it. She's going to become a big star.
Joanna, did you say hi to Stephen and
No,
Chris?
hello.
There you go.
Hey,
Right
Joanna,
on.
you're
She's
like-
running things.
Wow.
I'm over here producing.
Oh, you're producing?
That's the captain of the ship right there.
Oh, okay. Because I was just thinking she doesn't want to hang out with Buzz at all. That's what I thought.
I'm not allowed to be within.
It's like, no, we'll just put a window here and I'll stay over here.
I'm not allowed to be within 50 foot of any of the female employees.
And it's a good rule, man. I'm not going to argue the rule. I think the rule.
Right. Why risk it? Joanna, a listener, brought in caffeine-free Dr. Pepper.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
I talked about this yesterday, and
He had it,
we
like,
did some pictures.
overnighted.
Did you see? He had it overnighted from Amazon. During the pandemic, they quit making this line of Dr. Pepper products.
Yeah.
Caffeine-free. It comes in a gold can. It's not diet.
It's
And it
just
never
no
came back.
Wow.
It's like the pandemic killed off
it.
that line of Dr. Pepper.
Maybe that's where the virus came from. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Buzz. Now he doesn't want it. He's like, oh my God.
So
I
this
don't
got
want it.
overnighted. It's still wrapped in the plastic. Thank you so much. That was such a nice thing.
That
And I
is super
priced
cool.
them on Amazon. It's like $35 for this 12-pack.
Yeah,
so
wow.
I
he didn't
really
want to. He
appreciate
didn't want to tell you, man.
He didn't want to tell me how
that's
much it
how
was.
because that's why when you caught our conversation, I said I bought my brother a set of the hybrids clubs,
Golf clubs.
So I'm trying to get him into golf, and he goes, "How much were they?" And I go, "That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. It's not. It's about the gift." Right?
Were you saying your brother's retiring? Going to be
Yeah,
playing
he
a lot of
retired.
golf?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get him to play golf because right now he's playing a lot of the casino.
Oh,
and I'm like, dude, you're just sitting there. We need to go out. You need to get some walking in. You got to use
Well, how
your
old's your
mind.
brother?
He's 67.
Okay.
So I go, you got to use your mind. He goes, I'm terrible at golf. I go, everybody's terrible
Everybody's
at golf.
terrible at golf.
We do it for other reasons.
You know, and I'll tell you another thing. These like local pretty good golfers like club champions and stuff like that, if they played on the courses that the PGA guys play on, they would shoot 20 over. those tracks are so tough.
Even those guys play 20 over. I told my brother, that's why they only show you the top 10 because 11 down, they're not very good at golf, at least that weekend. Because it's a tough game. There's a lot of elements to golf. There's a lot of luck involved.
I had a friend of mine who had a chance to go pro, and he flew out to Florida for some tournament, and whole city was like behind him. We worked at the country club, and the whole place was behind him. And he came back, and I said, "How did it go?" And he said, "I think I'm going to take up backgammon."
It can be a big wake-up call for you.
My nephew played for New Mexico State, now he's in Hawaii hustling people for money playing golf, right? But
when did he play?
He played
because one of my friends played at NMSU.
Yeah, he's almost 40 now, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, my friend's probably older. Rich Beam won the PGA
okay.
Tour Championship.
Oh, okay.
Out of New Mexico State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But golf paid for his college, and that's what he used it for to get an education. And then,
cool.
then he moved around a lot, and then he ended up in Hawaii.
Does he keep his game up?
Yeah, he plays all the time. He's really good, man. Does
he work in the golf business?
No, he's a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a teacher. I think we come from that same we have to give back to our community kind of mindset.
He made me feel
so
bad.
he works with the kids that because in Hawaii believe it or not, man, there's a lot of poor people, and the native Hawaiians are really struggling with.
There's a lot of homeless when I went.
Oh yeah,
Hawaii.
and most of them are the natives that are the homeless there, and so he works with that community. He's a good man. I always call him a kid because I've always known him as a kid, but he's a great man. And
is he the one that played in that
golfer,
tournament
man.
with us with the exhibit?
Yeah, I think,
Exhibit?
Yeah, we played with Exhibit.
Yeah, we played with Exhibit one time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I brought him. I go, I have a player.
Yeah.
You know, he kept. I think we shot like
It was the best ball tournament, and I thank
shot
God
like
that he
12
was
under,
there.
13 under.
You guys play a lot of these tournaments when you're traveling around, or
no.
you go out there specifically for the tournaments?
I'll specifically do George Lopez's tournament once a year.
Where do they have that?
It's in Lakeside in Burbank.
Yeah.
And then I'm starting my own now. You know, this is going to be my first celebrity tournament that I do on the 27th in Bernalillo, where I have the comedy club at the Santa Ana Star. So that's where I'm having mine, and so I'm going to start doing that. I'm done with politics in 4 months, and I'm gonna just go back to doing what
You mean
matters.
as county commissioner?
Yeah,
so people might not have heard the earlier thing. We're talking about Stephen Michael Quezada's role as a county commissioner.
Yeah.
Which
And so-
shocks a lot of people that he's a county commissioner.
Yeah, it
It
does.
seemed like, how do you have time?
I don't.
You're on the road. You're acting. You're
I
doing
mean, I
all the-
do. I mean, I've gotten a lot done. I think I think I'm pretty smart at being able to surround myself with, the right people. So my executive assistant, he's amazing. My intern, we've trained her. She's super good. So we're always connected because of them. I'm always connected to the community and all the projects that I'm doing. Joe really helps me get them done.
Mm-hmm. You ran for that office?
I did.
Did you play up the Breaking Bad thing? When you
No,
ran?
I tried not to, but people who were supporting
Did
me
it anyway.
did, and I'm like, why did you do that? That's not why. Because they didn't, I started out doing gang intervention programs. I mean, when I was a young man, I've always been a part of a nonprofit.
I think that he should run for mayor. A lot of people say that he'd have a good steam to do it, and he's really good at helping people in our city. I think he should.
Yeah.
Albuquerque, like any other city's got issues.
It's got hard, and I look at that. I look at the city side of it, and and it's hard. And I don't say no to anybody right now. Never say never. But right now, I really want to work on. I have a movie that we're working on.
Was that the one with Giovanni Ribisi?
No, that one's out right now. That one's out in theaters. I don't know if it's still in theaters because it was an independent film.
What's it called again?
Strange Darling.
Mm-hmm.
But Stephen King called it a masterpiece. It's getting a lot of love. So if you Google it and you can read all the reviews, I think we're still like at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. We were 100 for like a week and a half, which is unheard of. We're just.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a thriller.
Joanna loves scary movies.
It's a thriller.
Yeah, that's what I like.
That one looks really good.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah, well, I've seen the trailer to it, and it has our Scream King Kyle Gellner in it.
Yeah. Willa Fitzgerald, when you watch
It
this
looks real
movie,
good.
she is mind-blowing. I think her if this would have been like a major studio kind of film, I think she'd be up for an award. I mean, for the performance that she gave. You leave exhausted because she exhausted you.
So what's the other movie you were talking about?
So I've been working on I wrote a script with a friend of mine, and so this director picked up the script, did a rewrite. It's called Duke City.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about,
Which is Albuquerque.
Which is Albuquerque, right? And I play a guy named Duke Montano that's strictly getting out of prison. He's an old man, but he was set up by the DEA, and so they just left him in jail for all these years.
DEA again, huh?
And he gets out, and he wants to. Well, I don't play a DEA agent, but the DEA messed this guy up. Left him in prison. He was a part of a gang, one of the bigger gangs in Albuquerque, and he gets out. And so it's really about kind of revenge and retaking over the gang and through that kind of and revenge on those guys because those guys also set him up. It's a really kind of complex script that
and it's filming
we
now,
thought that we're going to start shooting in January.
Okay.
But it's an independent, like we talked about. The major studios they do the same thing over. If there's not a superhero in it, if it's not $500 billion in CGI, they're not interested. So nobody's really telling stories.
We got to make $500 million at least, or we're not even going to.
Or we're not going to do it. Right?
Homeless too. That was an independent film, and that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. That was a long time ago. We did. I wrote a play called Homeless, and then we turned it into a screenplay, and then we shot it.
At the comic strip this weekend, Stephen Michael Quezada, who played Agent Gomez, that's Hank's partner on Breaking Bad, and also Chris Otero is here with us. I just want to say, that I've done something. I might be the first one to do it. I learned how to spell Albuquerque correctly.
There you go.
Like I don't have to.
Yeah.
I've never tried.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible, but I did learn how to spell Albuquerque.
We even just put ABQ. Yeah, we've gotten lazy, man. We're like, oh, really? Because we're the ones who have to fill out all these forms.
Wait a minute.
And they put city, and I just go, ABQ.
Not enough space.
Is there another Q in there? All right, well, thank you guys. Have a great visit in El Paso.
Thank you, man.
All right, thanks for dropping by, guys.
It, Buzz. Thanks, Buzz.
While you're working away, we're working for you. Our job.
We're across the middle school and Bob Hope Drive. Visit SavannahAHomes.com.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Okay, let's hit it.
All right, we're going to get to news headlines coming up in just a few minutes. Reminder, if you enjoyed that last half hour, Stephen Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad is performing this weekend at the El Paso Comic Strip, along with Chris Otero. So go and see Gomi from Breaking Bad at the Comic Strip. There's a show tonight. There are 2 shows on Saturday, and there's a Sunday show, too, at the El Paso Comic Strip. For more information and to get tickets, you can go to laughtonight.com. That's laughtonight.com. Nico, are you going to be ready to get into news here?
Sure.
Okay. Let me do the forecast. It's the weekend, so let's take a look at the golfers' forecast. It's brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Sunny, mid-90s, let's say 97 for the high. It looks like it's going to be consistently sunny and consistently around 97. Don't see any rain in the forecast for the weekend. Next week, highs are going to be mostly in the lower 90s. So, when is the first day of fall this year? Anybody know? Off the top of your head?
No.
I can look it up.
Sometime in September.
Whenever you
It is this month.
Oh, we're in September.
September 22nd.
All right.
Is going to be first day of fall. We got to give this weekend A+ all the way across for golf. Golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Or call the Pro Shop. Their number is 915-821-2122 for Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yay! Happy Friday.
Yeah. Friday!
I just want to say, before you do your first story, we have the best listeners in the world.
Oh,
yeah. A second person has come by and brought me a 12-pack of caffeine-free Dr. Pepper. And I was thinking, that is so sweet. Or maybe they were just like, this is the only thing to get him to shut up about the caffeine-free Dr. Pepper.
Stop talking about the caffeine-free Dr. Pepper.
Well,
oh my God.
If anything, that goes to just prove that bitching about anything long enough.
Yeah. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, am I right?
That gets you whatever you want.
It's just so thoughtful.
Another 12-pack?
Another 12-pack. And they had to pay for these from Amazon for them, for that outrageous price we quoted. It's like, that's ridiculous.
And yesterday I ran into a winner. He won the tickets for the Pink Floyd laser show, John. And I ran into him at the grocery store. So I gave him the tickets because he said he had 10 Beatles tattoos. So in the middle of the grocery store, John showed me all of the Beatles tattoos.
Oh my God.
I
did have that many.
I was going to buy you a 30-pack of beer, but after you got all this now, I don't even want to get you the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have your midnight drinks ready. How cool.
They both came wrapped. I think they went online and got them from Amazon. So thank you guys. That was just so sweet. Really touching. I appreciate it. All right, Nico, what's happening in the news today?
A bomb threat prompted major police response in Springfield, Ohio on Thursday morning, according to the city commission's office. The threat was sent via email to multiple agencies and media outlets. Though it is not yet known if they are connected, the threat comes after baseless rumors spread online in the wake of the viral social media posts claiming Haitian migrants were abducting people's pets in Springfield in order to eat them. The rumors were amplified by right-wing politicians, including former President Donald Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
They're
Trump said.
eating the cats. They're eating the goldfish. I'm not talking about the delicious snack crackers.
A spokesperson for the city of Springfield told ABC News these claims are false and that there have been no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals in the immigrant community.
Ever since this got on my radar, I keep waiting for, we found one case that this is based on, but so far they haven't done that. They haven't shown one single credible shred of evidence that this is happening. But Vance and Trump are both still out there bringing it up at rallies.
They keep showing that video of that lady being arrested for something.
So we established yesterday, because one of our regular listeners called in and said they got video of a Haitian immigrant eating a cat. They have video of a African-American woman.
Yeah. American citizen.
Who may have killed a cat, but it was 3 years ago and also not in Springfield. So, I mean, that really doesn't back up the claim that Haitian immigrants.
Yeah, his claim was very specific.
Yeah, his
wasn't
claim
general.
was very specific.
There are homeless people eating cats and dogs.
If anybody ever killed a cat, they're probably mentally ill, right? Regardless of where they're from.
Right, absolutely.
All right.
Abortions are now legal in North Dakota after the state Supreme Court ruled the state's near-total abortion ban was unconstitutionally vague. The ruling came as part of a lawsuit filed by physicians that asked the court to strike down the ban in its entirety. A North Dakota South Central Judicial District Court judge granted that request Thursday. At least 21 states currently have bans or restrictions in place on abortion. Of those states, 13 states have ceased nearly all abortion services, and 4 states prohibit abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, before most women know they are even pregnant. Abortion is currently illegal in South Dakota.
You know, that's a weird issue. And Trump talked about how he's been a leader on women's reproductive rights.
Oh, yeah. Also, he just got some flack for saying he was going to be a leader on IVF treatment for women.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of his conservative base do not like that.
What?
I think
that's a new thing.
There's a
that you
lady
don't like
for
IVF.
Children for America or something about American Families First, where they're trying to promote.
Is the reason they don't like IVF is because you don't use all of the eggs that are.
I think that's one thing, but
I
think to Christian fundamentalists, it looks like playing God ultimately to them, probably.
Okay,
and they probably just don't think it's natural. That's what I would assume about them. But
well, you know what they say about assuming.
Makes an ass out of you and me.
That's what they say.
All right. Well, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee, who's overseeing the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and others, issued another ruling yesterday. McAfee threw out 3 more of the counts in the indictment, 2 of which were against Trump himself. The counts dismissed related to the filing of false documents in federal court, with the judge saying the state didn't have the authority to bring charges for crimes allegedly committed against the federal government. Trump still faces 8 of the original 13 counts against him in the case, though.
And he's still got those federal charges that are being prosecuted on the federal level, too.
Right. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris continued to push for a second debate with Trump during a campaign rally in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday, repeating her comment that everyone heard the same old tired playbook from the former president. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Trump said in an interview yesterday that, quote, pretty much everything was discussed and you want to get on with your business. He added, we just don't think it's necessary. We had the 2, referencing his this week's debate with Harris and the one in June with President Biden.
We probably got to take a break, but Arizona's hardcore. You may think that Texas is a deep red MAGA state. You go through Arizona and you see things that'll blow your mind. The GOP in the state of Arizona have put up a dozen billboards pushing the idea that Haitian immigrants are eating cats. Even if that were true, they're not doing it in Arizona. Nobody's claiming they're doing it in Arizona. Nobody's even claiming that. The billboards are Chick-fil-A style ads that read, "Eat less kittens, vote Republican." Here are people in Arizona talking about the billboards.
More silliness, more craziness.
I think they're a distraction from real problems, and it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Everyone has their own mind to decide, hey, is this good or bad, or if it's true or whatever.
So, like I say, I keep waiting. Every day they're going to come out and they're going to be like, okay, well, there was an incident report, or
we found one.
We found one case of this crazy thing that we're talking about. And every day they haven't done it. But Trump, as of yesterday, was still out there repeating the thing about migrants eating people's pets.
It's a problem plaguing America. More specifically, Springfield. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Well, now you can help. You can rescue a dog or cat that's under the constant threat of being eaten in Springfield.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhearing, but...
Who are you?
I'm Homer Simpson. I live in Springfield, and we don't eat dogs or cats. And...
Liar! You're eating the dogs. You're eating the cats. You're eating the pets in Springfield. And I'm going to rescue those dogs and give them to somebody who's not hungry for dog and cat meat. And every month, I'm going to send you a picture of the dog or cat that's been adopted, and you're going to see how they're safe from your deadly mouth.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. You're eating the dogs and cats like they're donuts.
Donuts.
So please, adopt a dog or cat that's in danger of being eaten in Springfield. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show. 95.5 KLAQ.
A great half-off dining deal is going to be going live in a little over an hour and a half at 10 o'clock this morning. It's a dining deal for half-price food at La Posta in historic Old Mesilla. So at 10 o'clock, you can get $50 certificates for only $25. I'll double-check with Steve and see what the limit is. But you could get a half-price certificate for $50 worth of food. Go to KLAQ.com, or if it's easier, just open that KLAQ mobile app. You'll find dining deals there. Starts at 10 o'clock. We print up 100 of these certificates, and you can get them for half price while they last. La Posta is going to be having they're going to participate in the Mesilla Parade. That is tomorrow at 10 a.m. A lot of celebrations. You got the DSSA de Septiembre celebrations that are going on. Also, it's La Posta's 85th birthday celebration gala, and they're actually going to have that on DSSA de Septiembre. It is going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. on Monday. Reservations are required, however. Customers will enjoy a special buffet with margaritas and tequila tasting, and it's only $19.39. You see what they did there? $19.39. 1939 is the year that they converted the old Post into La Posta.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's why the price is $19.39. Limited tickets, but they want you to come up and have a good time and party with them. And they're going to have a lot of stuff going on in Las Cruces. Dining deals go live at 10 a.m. this morning. Steve Kaplowitz is going to come by, and we are going to talk a little bit. Tua Tagovailoa.
Hawk Tua.
Got another concussion last night on Thursday Night Football. This is at least 3 games and at least 3 concussions since going to the NFL, and they say probably more than that, but we'll have Steve on to talk about that. Back to our news headlines. What else do we have in the news, Nico?
Oh, lots of things. The pattern of near-miss plane collisions continued yesterday in Nashville. No one was injured when an Alaska Airlines jet had to abort a takeoff at Nashville International Airport. The FAA says the jet blew out some tires while braking to avoid a collision with a Southwest Airlines plane. The Alaska Airlines jet had to discontinue its takeoff because a Southwest flight had been cleared to cross the same runway. Both the FAA and NTSB are investigating. The incident comes just days after a slow-speed collision at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, where a Delta Airbus struck a Delta regional jet while taxiing. And McDonald's is bringing back their Boo Buckets for Halloween. The tradition of the buckets started in 1986, and while there's no official release date, they'll be back. The design is also under wraps, but the rumor is they will have a curious blue monster, a joyful green monster, a doe-eyed orange monster, and a suspicious white monster.
They already got a purple monster, Grimace. Bring Grimace back. And the Hamburglar, that was the scariest little MFer on TV when I was a kid. The Hamburglar, rabble.
I remember the Boo Buckets growing up.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, they were so cool.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
And what's in it? A Happy Meal?
Yeah, instead of the toy, you get your Happy Meal in that bucket.
Oh, okay.
Boeing workers have voted to go on strike. Thousands of aircraft employees at manufacturing plants in Seattle and Portland rejected the Boeing contract offer yesterday and voted to walk out tonight at midnight Pacific time.
Yesterday we were reporting, or earlier in the week we were reporting this. It looked like, and everybody thought they had an agreement, but they came back and it was not just a no, it was like a hell nah. Because it was like 95% of union members for Boeing rejected the offer they had.
The vote effectively halts production of the 77 MAX. Boeing has been struggling with serious production failures, and they have massive debt this year. And a teen had a habit of stealing women's underwear, is now behind bars. Police in California have arrested the serial panty burglar who focused on women's underwear. Irvine police investigators believe Trung Tran, 19, targeted apartments where single women lived and has been doing it since May. They claim he would steal cash, credit cards, other small items, and underwear. Officials say Tran was caught while trying to make a purchase with a stolen credit card. Didn't they show that kind of thing in like
I thought
80s?
you were going to say he tried to make a purchase with stolen panties. Did they do what in the 80s?
Like, I remember Revenge of the Nerds having panty stealing. And
yeah, but remember Revenge of the Nerds.
Animal House.
And Animal House was set in the early 1960s. And I think that was a fad in the 50s and 60s because there was an episode of Happy Days in the 70s and Richie and Potsy and Ralph Malph go on a panty raid.
Panty
raids is what they were called. You would run into the women's dorm. I guess it happened at colleges and steal panties, which is today more of a sex crime, right, than anything else. But
yeah.
SpongeBob had an episode about a panty raid.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Mr. Krabs wanted to go on a panty raid? He ended up getting his own mom's panties. Yeah, that is a weird.
So it's something.
It's like there was a fad in the 20s or 30s of swallowing live goldfish. It was just a fad.
Just a thing.
It was just something people did, almost like a meme, way before the internet. And
it was the Tide Pods of the 30s.
They're taking the panties.
And now, like you said, it's pretty much sexual harassment.
Yeah, this guy got that. It was somehow acceptable, like in the 50s when everything was supposed to be so wholesome. You know.
Well, my next story ties in well. The Justice Department is investing $700 million in grant funding for survivors of domestic abuse. That money is part of the 2024 fiscal year budget and will go to survivors under the Violence Against Women's Act. Part of it will be used to address online gender-based violence, along with helping victims and survivors of panty raids and domestic and dating violence. Among the grant uses is helping victims with transitional housing and training for law enforcement. And check your spice rack, everyone. A dozen brands of cinnamon powder and multi-spice powders have a high level of lead, apparently. That's according to testing.
Oh, I get unleaded.
You get? I prefer unleaded cinnamon.
Can I get the paprika unleaded?
Well, this is according to Consumer Reports, who's done the testing. The brand Paris cinnamon powder contained the highest levels of lead and was followed by EGM, Mimi's products, and ShopRite bowl and basket. Paris and EGN told Consumer Reports they would stop sales and ask stores to pull the products from the shelves.
Was it a production error, or have they been doing it all along? It's just the recipe.
You know what? I think they do testing of these things, which is a good thing.
Lead is bad for you. I mean,
there is no level of lead that is safe for humans to consume, like not even like 0.000 micrograms of it. And that's according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. But
there's some historians who believe that drinking out of lead cups and dropping lead into drinks was what led to the downfall of the Roman Empire. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah,
probably a number of factors.
That it was slowly affecting their brains.
It made them sluggish, lethargic, to the point that, Rome eventually fell to the barbarians.
I'm not sure that's even,
what?
They made it for 1,000 years. I don't know. We can just blame the pipes.
Well, it wasn't just the pipes. Also, if you had wine, you would drop lead into the wine for some reason. I'm not a wine drinker, and I'm not a wine drinker in the...
And I'm not a lead drinker.
And I'm not a Roman. I'm not an ancient Roman.
Yet.
But I don't know. That is one of the theories, though.
I think they also blame that for why the Romans were so violent. They would say, well, it was the lead in the drinks.
I think everybody was pretty violent back in those days, don't you?
Yeah, but like the Romans had the tradition of decimation and salting the earth of your enemies.
Of course, they had the gladiatorial games, and people would go and watch criminals being thrown to lions.
I'm just saying. It could be a little different. Well, a source has told the Associated Press that the Justice Department is getting ready to file criminal charges in connection with the Iranian hack that targeted Donald Trump's presidential campaign. The charges are reportedly the results of an FBI investigation into the effort that investigators from multiple agencies say was part of an Iranian attempt to influence American politics. No information has been made available about when the charges might be announced or who they're targeting.
I think it's worth pointing out that, in the 2016 race, Donald Trump asked for Russian hackers to interfere with America's election. He said, Russia hackers,
if you find anything,
find Hillary's missing email. Now that it was tried on him, I don't hear any Democrats out there saying, yeah, hack him more. Maybe there are some, but look, this is a binary choice. Donald Trump got on television and encouraged Russia to hack and try and find dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Which they did. Now that now that the shoe's on the other foot, if the Justice Department is prosecuting it just the way they did the Russian interference in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not heard any member of the Harris campaign or anybody associated with Joe Biden's administration in front of a camera saying, Iranian hackers, do it more.
Yeah, if you find something, you'll be rewarded.
Right.
Well, previous cases of bird flu found in humans were easily traced back to close contact with livestock. But a Missouri patient's case isn't going as well for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The agency said yesterday that the patient in question tested positive for the bird flu virus, but had no known contacts with poultry or dairy cows. There have been 13 bird flu infections in poultry and dairy workers since March, but the latest case is still being investigated because they don't know how he got it. One piece of good news, the patient is already fully recovered. I feel like people might be more sensitive to any stories about diseases these days.
Because of the pandemic?
Right, because we've already gone through one. But I think it's still important that we all know.
Well, sure,
stuff is out there still, and you just
not wrong to mention it. The flu vaccine is going to be available before too long, and that's one thing that every doctor that I've ever had encourages you get the flu vaccine every season when it's available.
Right, and finally, a Florida man, who sold his $85 million mansion on Miami's Indian Creek Island for a steal, is furious that the steep price slash on the home went to the second richest man in the world.
Wait, what's going on? He had an $85 million property
that he
Good
sold.
Lord.
Well, and he's saying that it was sold at a steal.
Why?
Leo Chris is suing the realtor who did not disclose that the buyer was Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Who bought?
Why did he discount? I mean, why was the price slashed so much?
The realtor decided to give it to Bezos for $79 million.
Oh, okay. All right. What a steal. Okay.
Excuse me.
I don't think I'm going to feel sorry for either one of these guys after I hear the rest of this story.
Well, the former Chris has filed lawsuit in Florida state court claiming the CEO of the realty company had personally assured him that Bezos wasn't the buyer, and the buyer refused to buy the home unless the price was reduced. I guess Bezos was playing hardball.
Hey, yeah, he wants a better deal on it. Well, you don't get to be the richest, one of the richest men in the world by not trying to get good deals.
Yeah, but I'm sure if the seller knew who it was, he would have been gone, no,
you're going to pay the whole thing. You're
or
the second
more.
richest man in the world.
Let's jack it up. And with your news, I'm Nico.
Well,
it's still
he got $79 million. Yeah. He was willing to sell it for that, so I don't blame Bezos for that. Maybe the realtor.
Maybe, and that he's the one getting sued.
Yeah. Joanna, keep monitoring. Has there been any evidence that Haitian migrants are actually eating people's pets in Ohio?
Oh, yeah. I found this video and this no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
The only video that they're showing that would constitute any kind of evidence has already been debunked. So
it's happening. Okay.
People keep messaging, like somebody messaged the KLAQ account directly and saying, I have a customer that lives there and she says it is happening and I trust her. And it's like,
well,
even people who live there, unless they visually see it with their eyes.
Right. I'm sure they've seen the same videos and stories you've seen. I want to hear it from some kind of an official source. And I keep waiting for it to happen, that there's going to be some evidence, because Trump and Vance are both out there repeating it as of yesterday. That's not how evidence works. I know somebody, and they said that they know for sure that it's happening. Well, where are they getting their information from?
Hi, folks. It's your favorite President, Donald Trump. And as I mentioned at the debate, it's a problem plaguing America. Migrants eating people's dogs and cats. They're eating dogs and cats. Well, if you've eaten too many dogs and cats, you need Magabismol, the over-the-counter stomach medication that will help your upset stomach. That I can tell you. Just listen to this Magabismol user.
Excuse me?
Tell them how Magabismol helped you after you ate all those dogs and cats.
I don't eat dogs and cats.
Yes, you do. I saw it on TV. People are eating dogs and cats. They're coming into our country, and they're going into people's houses pretending to be Amazon delivery drivers, and they're going into the house and cooking up dogs and cats and eating the dogs and cats.
Who's doing this?
Admit what you did.
Huh?
Magabismol for nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea caused by eating people's dogs and cats. In stores now.
Chuck here, and I am ready to throw the horns up on Loudwire Nights tonight.
And don't forget to irresistibly smooth and creamy custard. Get Bossed. Boss Tenders Dogs and Custard.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers.
At GVILaw.com.
Hey, we're joined for a segment from the El Paso Sports Hall of Famer, our colleague from 600 to ESPN, Steve Kaplowitz.
Just a segment? That's all I get?
No, you can stick around as long as you want to, buddy.
Well, your segments are like an hour, so.
Appreciate that. But, I mean, you want to get your money's worth when you're on this show.
Right. We have a lot to talk about. So a little over an hour, we're going to have a dining deal for La Posta in Old Mesilla.
Yes.
They're having a huge birthday bash. It's their 85th anniversary. And for the DSS, they're having a buffet.
DSS
de Septiembre.
There you go.
And they're charging, you got to have a reservation. $19.39 is the charge, because that's the year that La Posta was converted into the restaurant that it's been ever since.
That's right.
What happened on 16 de Septiembre? Was it
Mexican battle against French.
Was it when the rebels defeated the Empire?
No. Nope. And it's not Mexican Independence Day either.
Oh.
It's the anniversary of a major Mexican victory over the French.
No, that's Cinco de Mayo.
Crap. Sorry.
The 16th is Mexican Independence Day.
It is?
Yes.
So that's when the rebels did defeat the Empire.
Yeah. I think so. God, I was so smug and
By the
pleased
way,
with myself that I know so much about Mexican holidays, and then I was just wrong.
How do you pronounce September in Spanish?
Septembre.
I always thought it was septiembre.
Yeah, good job, Steve. Yeah, septiembre.
Well, yeah. Apparently, I'm not the expert. You know,
I don't know, but you had that really great Tigre del Norte joke the other day.
people like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting my gold microphone necklace back for that one.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
Da-da-da, 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 woo! Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
This weekend they play the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, woo! Come on, Buzz, give me a woo!
Okay.
Woo! Come on, Joanna, give me a woo! Nico, hope you're okay, Nico. Nico, come on. Woo! All right. As they're getting closer and closer to you know what? Woo! Yeah! Hey, come on. This weekend, too. Let's go, Miners!
Is that True Blue?
Who?
Is
True
that
Blue
the caller's
Cowboys?
name?
Isn't there one? Don't you have a fan called like True Blue Cowboy fan? True Blue?
Not that.
No,
I've
not
never
the
heard
word.
that.
That
before.
sounds like one of your fans.
No.
Hey, Steve, before you guys get into football, I do have to mention this thing we just talked about because people are mentioning it in our
chat.
At chat.
Is it Panty Raid?
Yes. They pulled the episode of SpongeBob because they considered it a bad influence.
They had a
little kids.
SpongeBob episode about panty raids. Do you know what panty raids were?
Back in the day.
Back in the 50s.
Because we were somebody got arrested for stealing panties, and I was like, wasn't that a thing that was normalized?
Well,
like
you said it was the 80s. And it was in some movies like Animal House and Revenge of the Nerds. But remember, Animal House was set in the the early 60s.
It was in the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, like 61 or 62.
Right. Revenge of the Nerds was set in the 80s.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was like 84.
Yeah.
Like streaking is normal, I think. More so than panty raid. More than panty raid.
I was asking, you brought up streaking, and we were just talking about like fads that people did. Seeing how many people could fit in a phone booth would be impossible to do now, but they definitely got into that in the 50s, 40s. I don't know. Good luck finding a phone booth.
I think they have them in England. Do they you were there recently. Was there any phone booths when you were in England?
Well, that's how Doctor Who travels.
I was there like 20 years ago. That's a police box.
Oh.
It's blue. The phone boxes in England are mostly red.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some when I went, but Steve, that's been over 20 years
I didn't realize
ago.
it's been 20 years.
It has been.
Okay.
I'm going on a trip this weekend. Did you hear about it? Going to Houston.
Are you really?
Yeah, see the Bears play the Texans.
Really? It's the Sunday night game. Does that mean you're not going to be doing the show Monday?
I got to fly back on Monday, correct.
Who are you going with?
Brad.
The boss?
Yep.
He's a super Bears fan.
He's a pretty big Bears fan.
Does he have his own jersey? He has to have his own jersey.
No. I don't think Brad is jersey guy. I think Brad is like
he's got a Bears sweater that he wears a lot, but I don't think he's going to wear the sweat. I don't think he's going to wear the sweatshirt in Houston.
Somebody mentioned that that Buzz should wear a Miners outfit because he'll fit in with the Bears orange fans, I guess, because they're all wearing orange.
Oh, that's
I did see that.
That's pretty good. No, Buzz, I can see Buzz showing up with Texans gear.
Yeah, I want to blend in with the home crowd.
That's right.
Let Brad take all the abuse.
And trust me, he's going to take it. That'll be sure. That's fun, guys. Have a good time.
So who do you think will win that?
Oh, the Texans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Bears, I don't think they have a chance. But, I mean.
Sorry, Brad.
It's, look, you got to go support your team. They're in Houston. Good for Brad. I'm happy he's taking you. That's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to have a great time.
Yeah, two party animals.
Yeah. We're going to tear up H-Town.
You are. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't think.
You and Paul Wall.
Nico spent a couple years in Houston, right?
I did.
I've only been through the airport, but I think I've been through both of them. Houston Hobby and
International.
And Bush.
Yeah.
Is it Bush International?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through, but I've never been off the grounds of the.
Really?
That's a shame.
Do you know that
It has nice area, is very specific areas to it.
I'll tell you.
Have personality.
I've never seen a Texans game at Reliant Stadium. I've watched WrestleMania. Was I at the new stadium for WrestleMania? No, okay. I've seen WrestleMania at the Astrodome. I've seen the Oilers at the Astrodome twice in the early 90s against the Steelers. Those were fun games. And then I've been to Astro Baseball at the Astrodome and the new ballpark. So I've never seen a Texans game. That's going to be a lot of fun.
We had a party at Minute Maid Park for something, and then we did go to an Astros game and the Astrodome. Yeah.
The Astrodome, or was it, or was it the new ballpark, Minute Maid?
It was Minute Maid, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think the Astrodome has been in a state of disrepair for like something like 20 years, right?
Oh, I'm sure. And by the way, I don't even think, you know what? I was probably at the new stadium for WrestleMania. I don't know if it was I don't even know if it was the Astrodome back in those days. It was like WrestleMania 17 or 18. I went with Mondo. We actually took our dads. So it was the four of us. Mondo took his dad. I took my dad.
When was this?
This had to be
90s
around
or 2000s?
No, like 01 or 02.
Okay.
Maybe 02.
Do you know what? One of the most famous sporting events that ever took place at the Astrodome. It wasn't football.
Oh, you're talking about Battle of the Sexes?
Yeah, the Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, Billie Jean King against Bobby Riggs. That's right.
I saw the movie. It
was a good movie.
With Emma Stone?
Emma Stone.
And
I think we watched it.
We might have watched it together.
Yeah.
And then Steve Carell, who played Bobby Riggs.
Is that who played Bobby Riggs in that?
Steve Carell did it. Absolutely.
The Bills beat the Dolphins last night. Bills on top 31-10 on Thursday Night Football. But what was really, really scary was Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Yeah, Nico wants to call him Hawk Tua.
Oof.
He took a hit. Actually, he lowered his head and he was hit by Damar Hamlin. So there's a little bit of
craziness.
Bit of craziness.
Yeah, January of
Remember a couple years
2023.
ago?
Sure, he almost died on the field.
Was it Jane? Yeah, it was January 2023.
Yeah.
Damar Hamlin got hit in such a way that he went into like some form of cardiac arrest.
Exactly.
And if they didn't have that life-saving equipment seconds away,
100%,
he would have died. But
on the field, that's right.
You know, it was not a dirty play. It was not an intentional thing.
No.
And this is the third, at least. There were probably more, but the third major concussion since Tua has been in the NFL.
So I have a theory on this, okay? And tell me what you agree or disagree with this. And I'm going to talk about this on Sports Talk when we go on at 4 o'clock today. I think that the NFL should make it mandatory that if a quarterback is running in the open field, they must baseball slide when they're about to go down versus lower their head.
Because that's what Tua did. He lowered his head
100%.
Into Damar Hamlin.
There is nothing good that will come out of a quarterback lowering their head to try to get an extra yard. And if you watch the highlight of that play, there was so much room he could have had the baseball slide. And remember, in the NFL, you're not allowed to hit a quarterback when there's the baseball slide.
That used to be considered toughness. If you didn't baseball slide, like Brett Favre would run head on into Warren Sapp. And it was like, that's how men play the game of football.
But we're beyond that. Like now,
it's too dangerous.
Here's the sad part, okay? And this is the truth. I feel like, 10 to 15 years from now, Tua's going to have CTE. God forbid, it does something to him, to his brain. But, you've watched, like if you saw what happened yesterday and he put up his arm with fingers and people kind of like, it was like a very cringe moment because he's got the concussions. You watch his reactions with his body. You can already tell that the brain is, it hurts to watch. It really does.
Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel was frustrated that reporters kept asking about the timeline for Tua to return.
The furthest thing from my mind is, what is the timeline? I want to know. We just need to evaluate, and I'm just worried about my teammate.
And he just signed a huge contract. A huge contract. Yeah, it's over $200 million for 4 years. And I think the Dolphins took out insurance on that, where like 49 of the 157 guaranteed is insured in case he has to retire early due to the concussions. Which, guys, it's going to happen. You could just tell with watching him play. He's going to be one of these.
His hand does that. I think they call it like a fencing stance. Is it when your hand?
It's kind of curling. The fingers are curling and the hands up. And
Isn't it neurological psychological damage kind of a sign to hang your hat up and stop playing?
He has talked about it before. He said that he is considered retiring because of the concussions that he had already gotten before last night. But here's a class act for you. After Buffalo beat the Dolphins, Josh Allen for the Bills spent most of his interview time talking about his concern for Tua Tagovailoa.
First and foremost, I just want to say, I hope Tua's doing okay, praying for him and his family. But came out to play, and our guys are ready today.
Obviously, it was a scary moment for a lot of folks seeing what happened to Tua. What were your emotions as you saw him there on the ground?
Well, I mean, understanding what's happened in the past and just knowing that I'm praying for him and his family. He's a great football player, but I've been around him outside of the football field, and an even amazing human, an even more amazing human.
Yeah. Hey, Nico, so maybe Tua could get out of football and
start fencing
and play basketball.
Oh.
Because then he could play for the Atlanta basketball team, and he would literally be Hawk Tua.
Oh, my God. That is so bad.
I mean, just the steps you took to get there.
The Atlanta Hawks, by the way, for people wondering.
Is called the Hawks.
The Atlanta
so
Hawks.
He would be Hawk Tua. Make it happen.
And
somebody sign him.
And by the
sign
way,
him to a one-day contract at least.
That would be funny. The NFL should not only make
he would be
sliding,
Tua the Hawk. He wouldn't be
Hawk Tua. That's good.
I think it stands. It still works.
Well, because you're going to have Hawks in the front and then Tua in the back of his jersey, so he could be Hawk Tua.
Right.
Yeah. I would make it though where not only is it mandatory to slide if you're a quarterback, but if you don't slide, then you can get the first down, but you get penalized 10 yards. Like there has to be consequence for quarterbacks to not slide because
there are a lot of football fans out there right now who are screaming at the radio, this is ruining football. We might as well play two below.
Listen, you're dealing with right now somebody's life.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
Listen,
and career. And he's not the only one. Last year,
Seau committed suicide. Yes. They found out he had massive CTE. There's a lot of speculation that Aaron the linebacker
Rodgers.
or the tight end for the Patriots.
Oh, you're talking about Gonzalez. Not Gonzalez. Is it Aaron Hernandez?
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Who murdered one of his friends and went to prison for it and then
got killed in jail, wasn't he? I think he might have killed himself. Yeah. I think he hung himself.
There's a lot of speculation that he had the same kind of CTE injuries. Right. You can't go on. They're thinking of making the high school players play in those padded practice helmets almost, which is a good idea because a lot more players die on the high school level than ever die in the college pros.
You're saying all of this, but then I just heard complaints from somebody going, oh, man, kickoff is awful now. They don't even get to run at each other till it's just
what kind of wuss ball's going on?
Right. And by the way, that was
you
designed...
You shouldn't even be allowed to make a fair catch.
That's designed for safety purposes. That is a safety reason.
When you have fans still going, I don't like this. It makes the game not
I wonder if the oldest football fan in the world is like, why do they got to wear helmets? Back in my day, we played with nothing on our noggins.
That's probably true. And by the way, the
what
good news
old man is that?
You can. That's the in my day character. The leather helmets.
Yeah,
noggins.
Our helmets wear a strap of leather tied around our chin. Let's take a break. We're going to come back and we'll talk Cowboys matchup on Sunday.
UTEP.
They've got an early game. UTEP is on the road this weekend.
Last game on the queue. That's right.
We'll talk about all that and Buzz's mailbag coming up in just a few minutes too. More on the way with Steve Kaplowitz of 600 ESPN right after this.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases. Champion of all things rock.
2 p.m. Soggy Peso, family friendly. 11355 Pelicano across from Sam. See Soggy Peso's Facebook for more info.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
right, we're going to talk some more with Steve Kaplowitz. Carry on here. So we've got minor football on Saturday. That's the final minor game that's going to air here on KLAQ before it goes back to 600 ESPN for the rest of the season.
Is UTEP playing NMSU?
No.
Yes, they are playing NMSU
this
last
season.
week.
I thought you meant this week.
The last week of the season, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and they'll play them in Las Cruces. So that's the last week of the season.
Undead G from Las Cruces says, Cappy, do you think there's a chance UTEP and NMSU going to the Mountain West Conference now that half those teams are leaving to the Pac-12?
We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but if you want to run down the thing again, the Pac-12 is what, the Pac-2 now.
I guess now they're the Pac-6 because they've added four. They have four teams from the Mountain West that are going to be going to join. That's Oregon State and Washington State. So now you have four more states. You have Colorado State, that's one. San Diego State is 2. Fresno State is 3. And Boise State is 4. So those were all Mountain West schools, which means chances are the Mountain West is going to look to replace them. And UTEP could be tops on the list along with, potentially New Mexico State because they're so close in proximity to New Mexico. It definitely fits the profile of the Mountain West Conference. So there is no indication yet that the Mountain West is looking to expand to replace the 4 schools. And I have received confirmation that the Mountain West has not reached out to UTEP or New Mexico State yet.
Well, has any of your contacts at UTEP talked about this issue at all, even speculation?
On the record, no, they have not.
So that tells me that off the record, maybe somebody's expressed an opinion.
Off the record?
Well, but you don't talk about it if it's off the record.
Right, off the record is off the record.
Is off the record.
That's exactly right.
3 o'clock starts the pregame from Liberty. It's a road game for the Miners, who are 0-2 this season.
Liberty.
Starting next Saturday, UTEP football returns to their official station, 600 ESPN El Paso. You'll hear every game for the rest of the season. And after each minor game, Minor Talk with Adrian Broaddus. It's your opportunity to share your thoughts. Does Adrian do the show from the KROD studio? Or does he?
Yes.
Is he out at the games?
No. So he does here's what Adrian does. He's very smart, Adrian. He has a watch party over at the district, right here on North Mesa by UTEP, and then comes back to our studios for Minor Talk, which, presented this year by Jack in the Box and all the other great sponsors that are part of it. And we go on the air, after the post-game show and give listeners the opportunity to sound off, which is always last week after the Southern Utah game, Minor Talk was on the air for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Did not go off until almost 1 in the morning.
That many people were calling in to talk about the minor game.
Yes, it was big.
A lot of bitching and complaining.
What do you think?
I think that's probably at least 50% of the calls would be, negative, at least.
Probably more than 50. When you lose to Southern Utah, an FCS opponent who just talked trash about your program, cities, neighboring city, and the lack of fans that go to games. Yeah, and some fans are like, well, I don't know why everybody got so upset about that. What they said was true. Well, whether it's true or not, you just don't disrespect an opponent like that.
What
publicly.
did they say specifically? I want to find out if it's true.
Oh, you've never actually heard the comments that were
from the.
All right, look, I'm gonna do this. I am going to send you the comments right now.
Yeah, but how long's the video? I mean, how long
it's
do I
a
have to
minute.
go in there?
It's 1 minute.
Okay.
And it's even edited for you to listen, so you can actually listen for 1 minute, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to give it to you right now.
We're kind of going back in time here, but this was, the Miners should have been up because of the trash talk from Southern Utah.
Yes,
Well,
they should have. I mean, that's what you would think is something that would have happened, but unfortunately, it did not. And as a result, they lost, and that was the issue. What fans had was the trash that was said, and that it didn't result in a UTEP win. They had the 17-6 lead. They just couldn't hold on to it in the second half. Tell me if you can grab that email that I just sent you, and then just click it, and you should be good.
Right.
And here it is. This is the comments that were made. That upset everybody. Okay, that's the wrong one. Is that what I sent you? Oh, go down a little bit. Let me see here. I thought I sent you the right one. That's it right there. Yep. Play that.
Transfers, something like that. They're a rebuild. Obviously, a brand new coach.
This is the
Austin
host,
P, who won
not
the
the coach.
conference last year.
Coach is coming up.
It's hard to call it a rebuild.
That's the coach.
It's a build. Re what? Re means that at once upon a time they were good. So somebody got to tell me what year that was.
It ain't about rebuilding because you got to build it in the first place. Is what you're saying.
Coach Waldron and his staff are building a football program.
Yeah,
so we'll get up Friday morning, fly to El Paso. I've heard that it's a phenomenal place, vacation destination. Maybe we'll lie Friday evening. We'll lie in the beach chairs and overlook Juarez. Heard that's a beautiful city also.
Dang. What a hater.
Did they play this for the minor players?
Oh, yes. Everybody knew about this. This dropped on Friday, the day before the game.
That's bulletin board material. Bulletin board
And
material,
obviously it didn't do anything. They blew a 17-6 halftime lead and lost the game.
Stadium. Yeah, huge stadium, and they'll have 25,000 people in a stadium that seats, 52,000. But that we'll be able to handle the crowd after last week.
Yeah, what is your stadium seat? Like 5,000?
It's like a high school stadium. But the point is they won, Buzz. They won.
They talked that amount of trash and came in and beat
and won the game.
A Division I school.
So those
Don't you hate it when somebody talks trash and then they back it up? Oh my God. It's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, Cowboys Sunday?
Yeah, Cowboys Sunday. So Cowboys are playing their home opener. Last week, I can understand Cowboys fans being excited. That was a good quality win for them at home, on the road, rather. But the Browns didn't look great. Let's deal in reality. The Browns did not look great, and Watson had a terrible game.
Oh, he's had a terrible season. He's had a terrible career in Cleveland.
He really has.
He's been
ever
awful
since he left Houston.
Yep.
And Cleveland got rid of Baker Mayfield, who had a great game on opening Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt them. I mean,
they're going to regret getting rid of Baker Mayfield. I think.
They are. They are. And Deshaun, they owe him. I forget how much. It's like $250, all guaranteed. And now he's got the latest allegations.
Yeah,
from the woman claiming that
sexual assault.
Yeah.
This Sunday, the Cowboys are home, taking on the New Orleans Saints. Our broadcast begins the pregame show at 10 a.m. on 95.5 KLAQ. So does the Babester host the pregame show?
The Babester is on the pregame show when they check in with him and Brad Sham. So yes, Babe Laufenberg, you'll hear him.
And our friend Christy Scales, does she take part in the pregame?
She does, and Christy's awesome. By the way,
Christy's the best.
Great people.
Dallas Cowboys football in the Q is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. 915 Tours and Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday Night Football watch parties. So, real quick, just mailbag. I brought in some of my mail from my actual mailbox.
Where's the mail?
When it comes, I want to mail. Got an invitation to a bar mitzvah. All right.
Ooh. Hey, nice.
Hey,
Look at you. Mazel tov is right.
Hey, shalom.
Hey, for me, Steve, what's an appropriate bar mitzvah
gift
these days? Cash. Yeah, of course, cash. But give me a ballpark.
I don't know. It depends on. Remember, there's two of them.
Yeah, I know.
So,
how do you know about this?
I'm not gonna.
Oh, were you also invited to said bar mitzvah?
Oh, it's your nephews.
It's my nephew. I better be invited. I'm family. So.
That's weird. That isn't he a twin as well?
Yes.
Yeah, Matt's a twin.
They say it's supposed to skip a generation. It didn't.
It didn't skip a generation.
Oh, wow.
All right, so
yes, that's true.
A few thoughts on the U.S. Postal Service, okay?
First off, gifts. Have you thought about monetary value?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Aren't they turning into men?
They are.
So then you should get like a manly gift, like a knife or something.
No. It's money.
He takes that
it's
PVC
envelopes.
bow and arrow that he has.
It's like
that would
every
be awesome.
It's like every party you ever saw in The Godfather is The Sopranos. It's an envelope with cash, right, Cappy?
That's exactly right. That's like the Goodfellas. Okay. Yes. When Henry Hill got married, they're all bringing him gifts. Yes, all envelopes.
They're just handing them envelopes
That's
one
right.
after another, and they're stuffed with money.
Cash. Yes.
So the Postal Service, not many people send as many letters as they used to. In fact, gosh, other than invitations like that, I don't know when I get What I mostly get is junk mail.
Really?
And here's what I'm noticing. Look, it's junk mail for outdoor lights. It's junk mail to get oil job on your car.
Oh, those are called direct mail. Direct mailers.
Oil job.
Nobody wants this. The post office keeps rising the price of stamp. If you did want to send a letter, the stamps are getting more expensive every single year.
Are they over 45 cents now?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You sure?
Yeah, I think they're like $12. I don't know. The junk mail that everybody hates?
Yeah.
Pre-sorted, postage paid, they don't have to pay for stamps.
Well, that's because they probably buy it in bulk.
They're the only ones sending mail, and no one wants to get it. I mean, I'm kind of happy to get it because I always needed kindling to start a fire in my backyard.
Do you ever receive any of those that you want?
Never have I been like, oh, I'm going to do that. In fact, I think if I get junk mail, and especially if somebody comes up to your car and puts it under your windshield wiper, I will intentionally not go to that place because it's like, hey, man, you came up and touched my car to leave your stupid flyer underneath it.
What about when you get like a letter from Southwest Airlines for your birthday and inside are free drink coupons?
I don't fly enough to get that, I guess.
You don't have Rapid Rewards? Where you have like your own Rapid Reward number when you fly for Southwest? Because
he doesn't fly enough. No, there's no way.
To justify something
that could
like
be the greatest. That's one of the greatest birthday gifts ever. When they send you drink coupons every year in the mail. It's so nice.
Since the only people really sending mail, it's junk mail. No, we've established nobody likes junk mail.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they charge them to send the stuff out?
They do, but it's all built in probably to the price. You're probably not paying 40 cents to mail all that because you're buying in bulk and you're buying 5,000 of those things. So they probably work the deal.
It can't be great for the environment.
True.
You're sending thousands, millions of these things out.
Mm-hmm.
You're using paper.
Do you have a solution? Because I would love to hear your solution.
Yeah.
This could be good.
Charge any company an exorbitant amount for a stamp. So let's say the price of stamps is 55 cents. Charge them $1.50.
Okay.
Now, there's probably somebody who knows the inner workings of this, and I sound very naive, I'm sure.
Did you ever collect stamps as a kid?
No.
Okay.
I was never a phlebotomist.
No.
What's
that word? Philologist?
Philologist.
Mm-hmm.
Philologist.
Here's the other mail I got. Now, I'm not even sure we can talk about it. This is so top secret. Do you see what that is?
Oh, I like that one. That's the kind of mail that you never see very often in our business.
Is that like so you could? Is that one of
Yes.
the forms? Are you allowed to even get one of those?
Oh, I know what he showed
I
it
am
to me
not.
yesterday.
I am not
You're
allowed,
not allowed
to participate in it.
Why would they send it to you?
Oh, you know why, Joanna? They don't have any idea.
You can say what it is if you're not going to do it.
I'm absolutely not going to do it. There's a thing called ratings tampering. I have never tampered with
Nielsen
the
ratings sent him a form to fill out to do like, hey, what do you listen to?
Yeah, it's
I
like
think they sent it once to my mom.
in a
and I was
typical
like, you can't fill that out.
in a typical day. How many hours of radio do you listen to?
This is when you write KRD down.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
This is when you pad your KRD ratings.
What is your favorite radio station or program? I mean,
KLAQ, of course.
Sports talk. I mean, it's easy. This is how I'm
technically we're not even supposed to talk about this. They'll pay you $5 to fill this out, and keep a diary.
And they send you like a $5
TV
bill.
and radio.
And they send you like cash in the mail. They don't even give you like a check. They send it to you. They send an actual cash in the mail for that.
I mean, they don't mess around with it.
No.
I mean, we have to be really careful what we say, but
100%. But the point is, you can't do it. Just rip it. Ah, very nice.
Why do you have your roll of tape next to you? Looks like you're going to tape it back together.
Scotch tape. Scotch tape.
Let me.
We got a neckline call about something.
Do you want to play?
Yep.
Good morning, guys. Buzz, I don't know if this will help you at all in buying the bar mitzvah gifts. My brother and I both went to our niece's bat mitzvah about 2 years ago. And at that time, we gave her each a $100 gift card from a sporting goods store. She's a jock. So $100 a piece, I guess. I don't really know. You're a celebrity, so they might expect more from you.
Thanks. Thanks, Tracy.
Celebrity.
That's true. I mean, do you feel? You know what? now that I'm thinking about this, you're 100%. Tracy's on to something.
I'm not much of a celebrity, and that doesn't translate necessarily to being rich.
Okay.
But would you say that's a good ballpark amount?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. I do. You can, I wouldn't necessarily go.
When are you doing
that.
your sons?
Next June.
Do you already start? Is that kind of the thing you plan a year in advance for?
Not a year, but we've already got a good idea. We
you have to memorize. I mean, if you're the bar mitzvah boy or the bat mitzvah girl, you've got to memorize.
Oh, he's already started. He's already started his lessons.
Started his lessons.
Wow. Oh yeah, lessons have already started. So he's well on his way to doing this.
That's like our catechism, Joanna.
Right.
Except we don't
have a big party.
Nope, no big parties.
I mean, sometimes there's a big party.
Then it's nothing.
I had a big party.
You get
Bar
like
mitzvahs
food, but you don't
fun.
get like presents, do you?
I got presents.
Oh my god!
At your catechism?
Yep, my first Holy Communion.
And do you have to memorize stuff?
Some prayers, yeah.
Like
Our Father.
How to say an Our Father and a Hail Mary?
Hail Mary.
Right.
Yes, I want to answer about that Trump and his stupid statement about people eating the animals. Okay, then they should have no loose dogs, no cats. Their population should be really low then.
Yeah, you don't even need a dog catcher.
So
you just need a Haitian immigrant.
This was something that the former president brought up on the debate stage this week, and I had only just heard about it the day before from Cucker, one of our callers, one of our MAGA callers of all people. I keep waiting, wake up and find out, okay, this is what all these rumors and reports are based on. So far, nothing. The police in Springfield, Ohio, is where this is going on, say that it's not happening. The governor of Ohio, who is a Republican, Mike DeWine, says that there have been no credible reports of this. But Nico forwarded me something. He said somebody from the police, the chief of police in Springfield issued a statement, and we have the audio of that. All right, here goes.
Springfield Police, Chief Clancy Wiggum speaking. How can I help you? People are eating dogs? What do you mean, like hot dogs? Oh, cats. Mr. Katz is eating hot dogs. Now, people are eating dogs and cats. People are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. Are they good?
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
The biggest Mexican fiesta this Saturday, September 14th at Malolam.
I have something to say.
Be part of the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Call Buzz.
Text me his number.
Live studio line 915-910-4995.
See? That's communication.
Recorded neck line 844-805-NECK.
Wait, what?
That's 805-6324.
I'm ready, Buzz.
Now back to Buzz in the Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
Well, it's Friday. We're getting ready for the weekend. Weather's going to cooperate. It's going to be nice. You all right?
I coughed. I didn't know the mic was on.
They have literally a thing called a cough button.
We don't have a cough button. We have an on or off switch.
Yeah, over there's just a switch. But here I have a cough button.
You're a cough button.
So, Joanna, I want to ask somebody to call in. If you don't know the answer to this, I keep hearing about some embarrassing scandal or audio leak involving Shannon Sharp. And Instagram. Do you guys know about this?
I heard that name this morning on the news, but I was brushing my teeth.
He's
so I
clapping
didn't really
cheeks.
Do you know about
audio
this?
of it?
Well, okay. So apparently he went live, Joanna,
While doing it?
while somehow doing it on, I don't know, where it was Twitter
All
or
the places I'm going to, they talked about it yesterday on The View, but they didn't play any of the audio. And
it was an Instagram live, Joanna, and it was just the audio. Yeah, you could just hear.
On Instagram?
It was Instagram live, and you couldn't see anything, but you could just hear like clapping.
Well, some people are saying that Shannon Sharp, who's an NFL Hall of Famer and broadcaster, they're saying that he was making like these guttural animal noises.
Wow.
I can't.
It must have been good.
I feel like everybody knows about this except me. Can anybody?
Is that an unusual feeling for you?
Yeah, man.
If anything is happening
FOMO,
in
baby.
the world of the internet, I can guarantee you probably don't know.
Yeah.
But I heard it this morning, or I heard the name Shannon Sharp, but I didn't quite get what the story was. Oh, my God. He admits to having sex on Instagram Live.
But he didn't mean to put it on Instagram Live?
He's apologized.
How do you accidentally go on Instagram? I'm asking. I don't know. I don't use Instagram. How do you accidentally go on Instagram?
In the rustle and tussle of the act, I'm sure maybe something
button got pushed.
Button got pushed.
Whoa.
Phones are very sensitive these days.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I see people commenting about like the sounds that were coming out, but I can't find any place that'll play it unless it's a video where somebody's talking about it for 30 minutes. And even in that one, they don't play. They just talk about the noises, but I haven't been able to find the noises.
I'm sure somewhere deep in the internet it's there. Let's see. Let's go to Twitter. Do I want to hear this?
Are you going to play it? I don't know. It could
I'm
be.
not going to play it.
Oh,
I just
right.
want to hear it.
Okay. Oh, off the air.
See what happens.
I got some space news in the meantime, but if anybody wants to call in, if you've heard it and you can describe it for us at least. In space news, SpaceX pulled off the first all-civilian spacewalk yesterday. It was more of a, not so much of a walk, but more of a stick your head out the window for a second type of deal. But the footage is pretty wild. 2 of the 4 astronauts went outside the ship. And one of them's a billionaire, Jared Isaacman. Who knows what he paid, but he paid to do that. And it's the first time that
$1 billion.
And SpaceX engineer Sarah Gillis also did. They each spent about 10 minutes outside the craft.
I can see my house from here. Like, what would you do?
I think here's what Jared Isaacman said. Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, it sure looks like a perfect world. Have you ever heard of the overview effect that astronauts have been describing?
Yeah, we talked about it a lot when William Shatner went up to space.
Yeah. And what, describe it. What is that?
It's the feeling that when you get into space and you're able to see the entire world outside, it gives you a strange sense of being smaller than everything and kind of just...
Well, some people describe it almost as like a psychedelic or like some kind of near-death experience, or it just gives you this perspective. Yeah. They call it the overview effect. And, I guess if you've never been to space, you don't know exactly what it feels like. But astronauts, even going back to the Apollo missions, say that they got that. It was just like, it makes you realize how small you are. And, I don't want to sound too much like a hippie here, but the interconnectedness of the universe and everything, man. I got a question for you. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes. What is it?
Okay, let me start off with this question. Do you know who the country artist Lainey Wilson is?
No.
Okay. She's pretty hot right now.
How hot?
Some people are calling her like the next Reba McEntire.
She's going to have a show?
Called Lainey.
No, Lainey.
Joanna, do you know? Okay, Joanna's on the phone. I guess somebody's going to describe the Shannon Sharp video for us. But I guess she's known for her junk in the trunk, her booty, her humps, her lovely lady lumps. And she answered a question for somebody. I guess she lost some weight. This is a thing that Joanna might be able to shed some light on. And the guy asked, like, what happened to your badonkadonk? But he didn't use that term. He used something else. Have you ever heard this one? All right, here's Lainey Wilson. She even sounds like Reba a little bit.
What happened to that backdoor turd cutter you had?
What's a turd cutter?
Your butt. I guess your booty.
What happened to that backdoor turd cutter you had? Uncle Timmy, why are you worried about my turd cutter?
Oh.
Worry about your own. Cut your own turds.
Oh. Joanna, did Lainey Wilson lose a lot of weight, or did
You
she
know
lose her
what?
booty?
I did not know who she was until I saw a meme a little while ago where it's like a side by side. I guess she lost a lot of weight, and in the first one, she's kind of got like this badonkadonk. It's like really out there, and then in the second one, she's lost a lot of weight, And the meme is all like, Ozempic, I will never forgive you for what you took from us.
I have some news nugs in the form of local news nugs. Yeah. I don't know if you hear a couple of these nugs.
Well, we got a live call, and I like to get to
yeah,
those.
absolutely. Do that first.
All right. Just give me a second.
Turd cutter.
That's
gross.
Turd cutter.
Should I add that to my vocabulary, or
Yeah.
I'll cringe every time I hear it.
Okay. Here's Oscar. Oscar's going to explain what's going on with Shannon Sharp. Okay, Oscar, be gentle.
Hello.
Be gentle with my innocent ears, please.
Well, it was funny what happened. I guess apparently he accidentally clicked the like button on Instagram, which like 3 buttons clicked away. But what happened? He was in the middle of doing the deed, and he was just clapping the lady's cheeks. Like, well, I don't know how to put it, and it's just full, like you can hear the lady moan, but it's just full, you can also hear Shannon Sharp just grunting left and right.
People are saying it sounds like an animal. What do you think it sounds like?
It sounds like a gorilla just going at it. Like it's just full on. Like,
let me hear your best impression.
Like
of Shannon.
Oh my God!
That sounds like
it was that. It was exactly like that.
And a little.
Yeah, it was just him saying, "You like that?" You're just like that. It was funny. I've heard the audio.
Oh man!
He apologized on YouTube. He made a video about it.
He made a video. By the way, where he works, he's an announcer. They're not going to take any punitive action against Shannon Sharp.
That's a personal thing.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
What he did that show for like 20 years with.
He was like, he got like secondhand he got embarrassment and like and all that. He keeps saying that, repeating himself. But in the beginning, when they first appeared online, when they first like got live, he said he got hacked immediately. Like I guess it was like his defense.
I got hacked. I guess that's maybe they even tell celebrities say that first.
That's the first thing he said. But then in the video, he apologized and he just said, "No, I didn't get hacked. It was an accident. I'm deeply embarrassed."
But like you said earlier, it's 3-button process to do this. It's not just like an accidental, just press a button.
You can't just roll over on your phone and accidentally turn on Instagram
I don't think
Live.
so.
Yeah, you gotta click on Instagram.
You really have, it really does this thing where you kind of have to keep pressing buttons in order to go live.
Yeah, he was pressing some buttons, all right. One special button.
Bob in our app chat says there was a rumor he was gay and that he set this up to prove he's not.
What?
Didn't he do that show with Skip Bayless for a long, long time?
Was that him?
Was it
Thank
Shannon?
you.
Yeah.
Everyone's sending me the link.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's sending us the link. Oscar, can you do the Shannon Sharp sound
One more
for us
time.
One more time, please.
You go. It was like that.
That sounds like a noble stallion.
Yeah.
In heat.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Oscar.
And also,
buddy.
And also, it was one of his like friends from the NFL tweeted about it, and he commented, "She sounds familiar," and everyone in the comments is saying, "There's no way there's a lady out here still hooking up with old NFL players." When this new fish.
Yes, there are.
Oh yeah, there definitely are.
Okay, thanks, Oscar, and thank you for the very realistic impression. I appreciate that.
He accidentally posted on Instagram. That lady's crazy about her Shannon Sharp man.
Oh my God.
Nico's news. Shaman is not really news.
Shaman.
We ought to be congratulating Shannon Sharp. I mean, it doesn't sound like this was against anybody's will.
No.
It's not a scandal. It's just,
They both
embarrassing.
really sound like they're enjoying
But
each other.
consenting adults, right? As far as I know, there's nothing wrong with what's going on there.
Oh my God.
Do a couple of news nugs.
Sure.
You said you have some local stuff.
Yeah. So there's going to be an air show at Fort Bliss, and I don't think it's called the Amigo Air Show anymore, is it?
I saw a billboard or something that said the air show's back. I don't know if it's going to be as big. It was a big thing.
Says it's the Amigo Air Show.
Okay, so the Amigo Air Show is coming back, and
Did you ever go when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, I used to love it.
It's a huge deal, right?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
October 12th and 13th, the Amigo Air Show will be held at Biggs Army Airfield inside of Fort Bliss. And there's going to be a piece of history that will be flying in. A historic World War II bomber, the Douglas A-26 Invader bomber aircraft. You can see it. You can. Maybe get inside of it even.
Yeah. Sometimes is it going to fly?
Yes.
They used to have some of these aircraft on the ground that you tour, and the kids really like that, getting inside and watching them.
So she has an impressive resume. She's referred to as a she, just so you know,
because it's an aircraft.
It's an aircraft. Served in World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, and in Cuba during the Bay of Pigs. According to Woolsey, he's the CEO of Million Air. It's the company that has it. It was built in 1944 as a new generation of bombers, and on June 6th, it was the 80-year anniversary of D-Day, and they had 8 engineers working around the clock to get it back in condition to fly. So that's going to be a fun part.
Cool. Yeah, I missed the air show. People would have tents, sponsors would have their own tents, and they had like free food and different. Every place had their own food and had their own booze and stuff. And if you had one of those tickets, you could go to all of them.
Yeah. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, will be in El Paso next week on Thursday, September 19th for the 2024 Governor's Small Business Summit. It's going to be happening here. The summit will celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, even. Should one of us go and kind of try and get an interview with?
Yes, and I think you should be the person to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going to ask Greg Abbott?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah. That's all you're going to ask him?
I'm trying to think of something else.
Okay.
I don't know what I would ask Greg Abbott. But it's going to be from 8 a.m. to 1:30 at Grace Gardens Event Center.
Oh, okay. In the Upper Valley.
I would try to.
You should go, Nico. Yeah.
That's your assignment.
What do you think of eating dogs and cats?
Yeah. Have you noticed any immigrants eating dogs or cats since you've been in El Paso?
In Texas.
Oh.
Former El Paso Assistant District Attorney John Briggs. I don't know if you remember his name.
I do.
He was one of the prosecutors prosecuting the Walmart shooter, and he was dismissed by then District Attorney Yvonne Rosales. Well, he is suing I think he's suing El Paso County. Yeah, he filed a lawsuit against El Paso County on August 22nd, claiming he was wrongfully terminated by then District Attorney Yvonne Rosales. He's saying that there was a conspiracy involved. Briggs said Rosales tried to cover up for the DA's office involvement in violating a gag order. And
they had a hearing yesterday, and the accused shooter was there, and some of the family members were also there. The courtroom was packed, and they expressed how frustrated they are of the delays, and this could all end up with the death penalty being taken off the table as a sentence. And the family member, look, some of the family members want them to go after the death penalty. Others don't. Make sure this guy at least never
sees the light of day.
Never takes another breath of free air in his life.
John Briggs is claiming that then DA Yvonne Rosales and Senior Division Chief Sanford Curtis Cox tried to get him to sign a false affidavit about the gag order, which he said he refused to sign. Then
he was fired?
Well, no, the day afterwards, he was given an evaluation, which was incredible, which was he was evaluated very poorly, and then they fired him based on that evaluation.
Well, look, Yvonne Rosales had to step down because of multiple complaints about what was going on. We got a call who might have more about the air show.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully can tell us more about this year's air show, and then we got to take a break. Hello, let me see here. Is it Miguel? Miguel,
Hey, Buzz,
how you doing, Miguel?
Hey.
What do you know about the air show, man?
Nico, everybody, good morning.
Good morning, Miguel.
Happy Friday.
Absolutely.
So I used to work for this large distribution center here in El Paso, Butterfield Trail, and all the big companies, FedEx, Burlington, everybody sets up these huge tents. They're called chalets.
Chalets, that's right.
Yeah. And if you're, up in the higher ranks of the workplace, you get tickets to the chalet from these companies, and I'm talking VIP 110%. You get free parking. You get to go in there inside the chalet. There's coolers and coolers of beer, drink. They got a little bar set up.
Some of them have margaritas. Everybody's doing kind of like their own thing at those.
They got a bunch of little things for the kids, and of course shade. And my God, it's outrageously, decadent for those that are.
But it's a good air show. There's planes there too.
It was a great air show. I wonder if it's going to be as big as it was before it went away for several years, right?
I don't know why it went away, but God darn it, that was the best thing in the world.
It was a great event. So I'm glad they're bringing it back. And, even if it's not as big as it used to be, maybe they rebuild it until it is.
If it's not. And, coming from somebody that was in the Air Force, which I was, you get to see all these planes that some of us used to work on. My kids loved it. They enjoyed that. Was an excellent weekend. I'm glad they're bringing it back.
Yeah, thank you for your service
in the Air Force.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Miguel, for the call.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Have a great weekend. There's Miguel, who's happy the air show's coming back. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and have a little bit of time to wrap up the show. Here's our late night roundup from last night, though.
The Institute for Human Anatomy released a new YouTube video titled "The Fracture You Don't Want: Penile Fractures," raising the question, which fracture do I want?
It was the 40th MTV Video and Music Awards. During Sabrina Carpenter's performance, she made out with an alien. Yeah, and that, kids, is how couples' Halloween costumes are born.
According to a new survey, nearly 1 in 4 young adults said they do not plan on having kids, while the other 3 said, "You think I have time for a survey?"
I heard that the $1.1 billion Mega Millions jackpot won 6 months ago in New Jersey still hasn't been claimed. Ooh. It's Jersey, so that leaves 2 possibilities. Either the ticket's missing or the guy is.
According to a new ranking, Hawaii is the happiest state in the country, also not coincidentally, the farthest away from it.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Ay. Está bueno.
Rewind to 10-man EP. Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vias, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
I got a couple of giveaways. This is our last chance to give away. We got Chihuahuas tickets for the game tonight. And there's only 3 more games left. Sunday's the final Chihuahuas game of the season at Southwest University Park. Let's give that caller number 10. It's a 4-pack. So take the family, take friends with you. You got 4 tickets to see the next to the last Chihuahua game that you can see tonight. Go ahead and get caller number 10. And then I forgot I had some tickets for another event laying around. Here's a telephone number to call to get those tickets for the Chihuahuas. It's 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Call us now. Caller 10 is going to win the prize. We haven't done a great job getting to the neckline calls today. We can make up some time. And in fact, we had a call on the VIP line.
Ooh. Good morning, Buzz Adams.
Hey.
This is Kamala Harris calling in. Why doesn't Trump want a 3rd debate? Him and I wonder why. I really do. Maybe Big Daddy D can call in and explain to us all why. Big Daddy Trump doesn't want to debate me again. I can guess why. I can guess at a lot of things. I have Nostradamus powers. I can predict he is going to lose. Ha ha.
AI is not great on mimicking human laughter. because that is definitely not how Kamala Harris laughs. Got another call here about, we don't talk about country music very often, but we were talking a little bit earlier.
Hey guys, sorry. If you see caller ID on these things, don't play my last call. I think I cussed.
Okay.
But yeah, Lainey Wilson, she's the country Kim Kardashian because, man, that ass, bro. Seriously, like, but Ozempic took it away from us. She's lost weight and the booty's almost gone, non-existent. Also, yeah, Shannon Sharp. I heard it, bro. That was the craziest video. And you just hear him clapping cheeks. You're fracking that ass. Not effing frack. Like, you know how you frack the ground?
Yeah, I got you. I think I know where you're going with this. We were talking about Lady Wilson because I guess she lost a bunch of weight, and some of the fans are upset that she lost her behind, her booty, her badonkadonk, or this term, which I'd never heard before.
What happened to that backdoor turd cutter you had? Uncle Timmy, why are you worried about my turd cutter?
Ugh.
Worry about your own. Cut your own turds.
Ugh. I think I found the side-by-side you were talking about, Joanna.
Oh, yeah. The one of her butt.
Oh, my God. She looks half as big as, she was curvaceous for sure.
She was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Nice, Joanna.
Thank you.
One other giveaway, Brew at the Zoo
All right.
tomorrow at the El Paso Zoo.
Brew
at the zoo.
Remember Rick Lobello came in and made us face our fears last week? We've got 2 tickets, free admission for Brew at the Zoo. Since it is all about brew, you got to be 21 or older to win the tickets, and this is valid only for tomorrow. Brew at the Zoo is going on at the El Paso Zoo. So let's make this one, let's make it caller, let's just go 10 again, okay?
Okay.
All right.
We got a winner for the Chihuahuas.
We did.
Family
Jeanette
Four.
was our winner.
All right. Congratulations, Jeanette. Brew at the Zoo is a lot of fun. You get to go into the zoo, and they have all kinds of different craft beer.
It's
and they're
so
really
much fun night at the zoo.
They have brew
at the zoo. Mhm. The zoo has brew for you, Magoo. All right, caller number 10. Number is 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. If you got anything to promote, do it now. Nico.
Come on by Scenic's Bar and Kitchen tonight to see the funniest local performers around, amateurs and professionals alike. 4130 North Mesa, and 9:30 is when it starts. Open mic.
All right.
I'm hosting.
You are going to host.
I am
tonight.
hosting.
Stephen Michael Quezada, who played Agent Gomez on Breaking Bad. He was in every single season of Breaking Bad. He is the headliner at the comic strip this weekend. So show tonight, 2
Absolutely.
tomorrow, Sunday show as well. Stephen Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad. I thought we had a real nice visit with him and with Chris also, who was here. So come out. And Jibbs is emceeing. So our friend Jibbs is the MC at the comic strip this weekend. All right, listen, everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget, it's Friday the 13th. So you don't want to go anywhere near a black cat. unless you're a Haitian immigrant, I guess.
Are you afraid of a black cat crossing your path? Avoid walking under ladders? Do you have irrational superstitions about riding in an airplane? Trepidation about going to the 13th floor of a building? Then you could be suffering from triskaidekaphobia, the fear of Friday the 13th. Well, get over it. Grow a pair. What are you, 7? Clinging to some false belief that something terrible is going to happen to you? It's just another day. There's nothing to worry about. Face your fears. You're going to be fine. As long as you have your lucky rabbit's foot and don't step on any cracks. And whatever you do, don't break a mirror or you will be totally screwed.
Well, that's it. Show's over. What? We just started.
Yeah, well, the show's over.
That's the end.
That's not the end.
Why, yes, it is. Right, that's the end.
And that's the end. That's the end.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back Monday morning.
Hello, everybody. It's so